We're rolling. Are we going?
I guess this is the song that we start with then.
Now you're fucking with the champs. But that was actually me.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Was pretty good.
I've been working on it. It's Moshe Kasher in the building. Listen, man, I don't even... Where to start?
Oh, wait a second. You know, remember this one?
Doug's drop. Is that okay to say?
Damn.
Doug's drop.
That's some bullshit.
Doug's drop. Is that okay to say?
I want the people
Fuck,
to hear
man.
it.
Is that okay to say?
I went to the premiere with Chappelle. I went to the premiere with Chappelle. I went to the premiere with Chappelle. I went.
Get up off Twitter.
Doug's drop. Fuck, man.
Dropping my name.
Doug's drop. Is that okay to say?
Damn.
Doug's drop.
Get up off Twitter.
At the premiere, no less. I would just like to say nothing. People were so.
Wait, you just
wrong.
talked over our signature. Go back 2 seconds.
Wait. Okay,
Oh,
this
well.
one, wait.
The
Ladies.
fact that fucking the people didn't like the sound of it.
You're fucking with the champs.
And we got some bad news.
The
We got
fact
some
that-
good. We got some great news.
The fact that people didn't like the drops is such a miscarriage
Of justice?
of justice because they're so fucking funny. Get up off Twitter.
Get Up
and
Off
I'm from
Twitter's a
Oakland.
classic.
I'm in Oakland right now.
I went to the premiere with
I went
Chappelle.
With Chappelle, with no
Get up
less.
off
The
Twitter.
premiere, no less.
Guys, that, of course, those dulcet drops that you're hearing in the background
At the premiere, no less.
are from none other than DJ Dougpound, original champ, founding member in the triad, the trifecta.
I
He's
wish
here.
we could broadcast this to people because we actually have 107 followers right now.
We're broadcasting to it right now.
I know, but they can only hear what I'm saying. They couldn't.
They can't
all
hear the drops.
Oh, they can't hear the
No.
drops. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
Doug is here.
Doug is here.
That's
There's Doug.
That's the good news.
Hi, it's great to be back with you guys. This is always a fun time.
How long has it been? It's been a long ass time. Must 2 years easily.
I know, it's crazy.
Maybe 3 years. How long did we do this damn thing?
This
for?
is before
This
Periscope.
is we are approaching 4 years of doing this podcast, and to the listeners who have been incessantly asking us when the next champs is, the good news is the next champs is right now.
You're looking at the next and last champs.
That's the bad news. The bad news is we think we're going to stop doing the show, and
I have this Periscope is called Final Champs.
hold on, the people on Periscope know, but the people listening to the champs don't know. So I feel bad because it's your Periscope and they can't see your
No,
face.
they can see you.
But
This is the last one. Why? Moshe's my favorite. Champs are fucking champs. Fuck that. Who's today's black dude? We have a good black dude.
we have a guest coming, and he's a friend of the show.
Oh
but
yeah, but why are you guys stopping? You ran out of black guys.
We
You
did.
interviewed them all.
Yeah.
Now
look,
you ran out.
We kind of ran out of black dudes to interview.
I
we
mean-
could have repeated them.
Could you get Kendrick?
Kendrick, we had no chance. I also got so sick of asking people.
Neal got. Listen, if we're gonna try to, I don't want to break down the fourth wall too much, but if
That's cool. I think
but Neal and I had some a difference in ideology about who the guests on this show should be. I was willing to keep going
me
with
about
people
Neal today.
of ever decreasing levels of fame until finally we just got to my buddy Gerald that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And Neal was wanted to keep us at a premiere no less level, and eventually got tired of asking people to do the show. So to one degree, we did run out, and to another degree, things ran their course.
We ran out of viable. The level that we did 100 and some episodes. We had good fucking like there were people where I'm like, I can't believe we had that person.
I feel the same way. And you know what's funny about it? I was thinking about it the other day. So a lot of them were because of your connections. Mm-hmm. A lot of them were because a few of them, I would say, were because of me and Doug's connections. But I would say maybe 20% of the really fun guests are straight up cold calls. Absolutely.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I've
you
never-
were the king of the cold call.
I just straight up would randomly approach
Who did you
people.
cold call and they came?
Too Short. I didn't know that guy.
But how'd you get him?
I just contacted
you just-
contacted managers. at
Oh, you
MC
didn't like
Search.
type too short at gmail.com and it was like, it's actually me. I'm down.
Who else?
I'm sure his email's not that far out from too short at gmail.com.
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, again,
MC Search.
Well, Big
those
Big
are all
Daddy
cold
Kane.
calls.
What does he have going on though?
I mean, he's,
Yeah, but you don't got to even be like that, Doug.
yeah, Doug. Just because you weren't here for it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Here's what I feel. I feel proud, if I can be sincere. We do have a guest coming, but we just wanted to take a moment with the original champs to say some goodbyes. I feel Neal does not feel sincere.
Doug is here,
yeah,
man.
There's
People want to
Doug.
know if Doug is really here. Doug is here.
There is the real Doug.
Okay, they get it.
Yeah.
Oh, hi guys. This
But I
person-
feel-
Without Doug, the show went down fast.
Oh, it's fast. We've been doing it for 3 more years.
They said, "Is this the show or the preface?" It's the show right now. We're prefacing, and it's the show.
What I will say is it's pretty crazy that we never got Chappelle.
It is pretty crazy.
I mean,
It is pretty crazy that we never got Chappelle.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
how
felt,
did you not get Chappelle?
that felt like the looming
he was
albatross.
actually at your place one night
That's
when we were
true.
doing a podcast.
Yeah, Dave. I don't know if we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Dave was at
Right.
my house
Dave-
when we interviewed Lexington Steele.
Right, Dave was at a Champs. He was
Yeah, he
never
was at.
on the
Went to a
Champ.
taping. He just had no interest in. He's still never done a podcast. He did Q-Tip's Apple radio show with DiCaprio, which is like, all right, I'll give you that.
You're right. That doesn't make you feel too resentful.
Yeah, it's like,
here's what I will say. I am very proud. When we first started this show, I remember Neal called me, and I didn't even know you very well. And Neal had done a live show in Chicago with Doug, and it had gone swimmingly, as they say.
Talking about Chappelle.
Yeah, he probably was. And you said to me, I don't know why you approached me, but let's do a podcast together, you, me, and Doug. I think that could be a really cool dynamic.
Yeah, I didn't know Neal either, except
Yeah.
for that one show I did.
But I hadn't even done that show. But it was just so it's sort of
I
a
did,
random.
But
I
you knew
just
him
thought you were
less than
funny.
I did.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Me and Doug, you did the show, and then I had Doug stay on stage.
You said come back on stage. You were coming
Yeah.
on after me,
and then
and I did drops during his.
he did
stand-up.
drops during my set, and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And I remember that you and I on that phone call came up with the idea of interviewing black dudes. And the idea...
Someone just called it Neal Got That Woman and Fat Dudes Cash. That's a parody of the name of my my special.
Women and fat
Women and
dudes.
Fat Dudes.
That's a great...
That's
that should be
the
your
next
next
one,
special.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But we came up with the idea of doing black guests, and then it sort of morphed into guests of color, and then it sort of morphed into whatever this show is. And the reason was partially because you and I were both, and Doug to an extent as well, your persona on stage, are all these people that have this sort of weird aficionado with hip-hop
There was also
culture.
a void. There
Well,
were no black guys in podcasts.
Exactly. That was the other thing. We felt like there was, on most podcasts, it was the same group of white dudes going from podcast to podcast interviewing each other about what it's like to
They're
be a white
still
dude.
doing it.
They're still
People are
up to it.
cracking up laughing.
And our worry was that it would be seen as fetishy or weird. And to some degree, I mean, maybe it was kind of fetishy and weird. But
The people thought it was racist.
that people thought it was racist. People
Yeah.
think that we were like, just like a sort of noveltyizing or whatever. But there was a space for it.
Yeah.
And now that we're stopping, and I'm sad that we are, I was just thinking about all the guests we've had and how many of them, I might say of those people, because that's what I refer to black people as, have started their own podcast.
Say something about black folk.
Since being on this show, and I know that these people will never, and I don't, by these people I mean white podcasters
Yeah.
now, won't ever admit it, but I actually think we've influenced the white podcasting world to be more cognizant and aware about booking guests of color. I really do believe that.
But you'd have to show me some examples.
I just have seen.
You think this podcast did good in the diversity of podcasts?
I
Specifically this podcast.
100% I do. I really do. Yes, I believe that. I strongly believe that. You don't believe it at all?
I can't think of any.
Well, I mean, there are some of the most popular podcasts, I would say.
Because Rogan hasn't had anybody very black.
He had Hannibal on.
Yeah, he's had Hannibal a couple times. Like, he'll have people in comedy.
But
Maron's only had, Maron's
No,
only
Marin
black
stepped it up.
person was
Marin
Obama.
Marin has stepped it up quite a bit. I swear. Take a look.
I
In the
have.
last
I don't.
year.
I like the fact that Obama. That's how popular you have to be on Maron's show as a black person. You have to
literally
be
be the president.
Yeah, and you have to be half white too, even if you're
Rogan
the
had
president.
that black singer guy apparently.
So Charlemagne the God,
Obama.
Charlemagne
Who's the blackest guy you've had?
Physically,
Lexington Steele. I
Lexington
guess.
probably
Yeah.
black. Physically,
I was
the
there for
blackest.
that.
Kane's pretty
proudly.
dark though.
Yep. I would say, what I was trying to say, well, a lot of our guests have started their own podcast, which I think is pretty cool. Felipe Esparza started his own podcast after doing this a few times.
Yeah, but he's not black.
That's true. We did expand to people of color. My point here is I feel like we've done, if we stop today, and we are going to stop today.
You think black people are going to fall off in the podcast world slowly, but
No.
as soon as this ends?
I think we've done good work here. I think we've had some special conversations.
I'm being told Seinfeld had Diddy on Comedians in Cars.
That's because of us. That's what I'm saying. Seinfeld never would have had P. Diddy in that 1962 drop-top Carmen Gia if it wasn't for the champs.
We've had two of Jerry's favorite top 5 black friends on the show.
Who's that? Chris Rock and Mario Joyner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I'm going to 3 out of 5. George Wallace.
George Wallace.
So what is something? Yeah, so we ran out of black people, and also I just couldn't ask people anymore.
Now, Neal, what if we were to do champs?
Let me be clear. People are like, Joe had John Jones. Yeah, I'm not saying they never have. I'm not saying Rogan never has black people. I'm not saying that Marin never does. I'm just saying not as often as we do. Or anyone does.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God!
We were one of a kind, and I think that things have changed in general. I think that thing. I mean, I don't want to. It's now I feel like I sound like Keanu Reeves in The Last Samurai or whatever. I don't think we're like heroes. Obviously, we just did a good show, and I'm proud of it. Doug, you've continued to do your own show. When Doug left the show, people have wanted to know for a long time why Doug left, and. Here he is to tell you. No, tell us about your podcast, though. No, but you do your own show now.
Well, I had all the drops, and
you took them.
You had them loaded, yeah.
Yep. Nowhere to go.
And I quit this podcast because at that time I was working a day job that was like, when you're an editor, you're just working these like shit hours all day. And then I had to like rush over to many times to Neal's house, which is like half an hour away. So I was like, oh,
Neal
cranky.
lives in Reseda. Neal lives in the city of Industry, California.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it was just stress. It was just like, I don't know. It was like a job. It turned into like a job that was like I was like annoyed.
Yeah,
with.
it was
just like
it's
a job.
a long way
you
to
know?
Venice is
anyway,
far.
so like then I had all the drops, so I do a podcast once in a while, whenever I can, at my house in a convenient
called
location.
the Poundcast.
The Poundcast, yeah.
And I do my show. I've sprung off and I do a live show called the Hound Tall Discussion Series.
Someone just said they pulled over in a parking lot and are watching us on their phone.
Please be safe.
Neal, please keep driving. Start your car.
Yeah,
keep driving.
Are you gonna keep doing one, Neal?
I have an idea for one, but it's it's so embarrassing asking people,
right?
Especially
All Chinese
famous people. Yeah, all
famous Chinese actors.
Yeah, all Chinese.
It's called the.
Oh, don't say it! Don't say it.
Don't even say. Yeah, don't say it.
But anyway, so you might do your own show.
I have an idea, but the booking became so humiliating when I think the low point was I did the Nike commercial. Richard Sherman was in it. I directed the commercial, texted him about doing the champs, and just didn't hear back. And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I have a great champs
But
guest
why didn't
story.
you get you're part of this network? Couldn't you get a producer to do all the?
No, because you can't.
Because they don't respond.
They don't know
to
the people.
They want to respond to you directly.
Yes, yeah.
I think you could have, but what are you going to
He
do?
could
Dude,
try.
you kept saying that, but you never did anything about it.
No, because you never really let go of the rein. You were like, that person's garbage. We need a
No, you said let's try her.
You said that person's garbage. We need a person who books a nationally network late night show, which is no one's going to do that for us on this fucking meat and potatoes.
With the $80 per episode.
Exactly. What I was going to say is Neal might do his own show. I do my own show, Hound Tall Discussion Series.
Someone just wrote Blake punched a real black janitor, which is so
I'm about to pivot us into our dates. We wanted to say, now that we have your attention, we're not actually stopping the show. We just wanted to make sure you'd listen to our dates. No, we are. But Neal, you got some live stand-up dates coming up?
All right, if you live in New York, which a lot of you do.
Oh, this is a big one.
Please come to I'm doing this show called Three Mics at the Redgrave Theater on Bleecker Street in Lafayette, in the East Village-y. It's every night, 9:30 for the next from February 23rd to March 13th.
Produced by
John Legend,
former champ himself.
former champ John Legend, and it's 3 mics. So one stand up, one is like one-liners that I've never been able to use anywhere, like tweets. Somewhat.
And one is champ's
One
guest
is-
that he was never able to get.
One
so
is
you have to walk over to another mic to tell different
one
jokes?
is emotional,
Sincere stuff.
sincere, like sad, emotional shit from
Right.
my life.
And now he's got one more thing to add, which is the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
You feel happy about the end, or do you feel any sadness? or
No,
melancholy?
dude, I love the podcast. Like, let me be clear. I love doing the podcast. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was so fun to do. We just couldn't get people to
It
come
became
on
difficult. I will say that
Yeah.
it did become difficult.
Sometimes things run their course, and if you know you did a good job and you're happy with what you did, it's fine to move on. And you
Yeah.
can,
Yeah. No, you're right, Doug. Yeah, and he's like, sometimes somebody comes to that realization 2+ years earlier than the other two people and moves on and enjoys his life. So I will also say this is Neal's big show. Not that it's his last big show, but that 3 mics thing is a special show that is in a special theater, and it's really like his one-man show. So if you're a Neal Brennan fan, which odds are you are, go see his show, 3 mics. You're going to do that. You're also going to do, you know what else you'll do? You won't just laugh. Let's see if Doug still got it.
wait, no.
I wanted that one guy. You remember him?
Which one?
That crying man.
Oh,
So go see Neal's show.
Yeah,
3 mics.
please.
I-
It's because you got. Have you ever done a one-man show? You got to sell 200 seats a night. It's
That's insane. That's
on
really
a
insane.
Tuesday, and then on a
There he
Wednesday.
is. You'll laugh. You'll do this.
Yeah, so it's a pain.
I am going on tour with my wife. My wife. Get it, guys? Like comedy. No, I'm going on tour with my wife, Natasha Leggero. We're doing the honeymoon tour. It's just an excuse to extend our honeymoon, but we're coming to a western state near you. We're doing Hawaii. We're doing the
He looks like a
Sasquatch
black Jeff
Festival.
Goldblum.
There she is. We're doing, and that all happened here too. I mean, when we started this podcast, I was a single slut.
Yeah, dude, you were a slut you were a classic slut.
Yeah, I'd be texting during the show, like getting ready for the fat girl I was gonna.
Yeah, like you went hard, and then you got fucking married.
I got wifed up. I mean,
Yeah, you moved into like a house and got married and had a wedding at the house.
yeah, and Neal came. Yeah, and
did
Doug
come.
came.
Parkour.
yep.
Doug and Neal came. That was the closest we came to a True Champs reunion until tonight. But we're doing an extended tour. We're going to Hawaii. We're going to the Sasquatch Festival. We're going to Portland, Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, California, Palm Springs, Tucson, Arizona.
A lot of people
Albuquerque.
saying you're broke, and then other people are saying, I would
this is
wife
all-
that.
The people are on. Are
Oh,
watching
is that
us
the
on
thing? Is it? Or do
Periscope.
people say you married Natasha for money? Is that has anyone ever said that?
Yeah, I married a beautiful woman for money. People are with a perfect. Anyway, guys, let's just say my life is good. I miss those crickets. Doug is also doing a tour. But for me, you can go to moshekasher.com and get all that information.
Oh, you go
on
to
the tour.
3mics.com.
3mics.com. And Doug, you're doing a tour as well, aren't you, with old Brent Weinbach?
Yeah, we're gonna do my web series Pound House is back for season 3. Episode 1 is out now. If you
I'm gonna
search for
I'm
Pound
gonna make
House.
sure see if our guest has.
Oh, sure.
Moshe,
can I say this?
Moshe is in Pound House season 3 in episode 2 coming up in a few weeks.
P.S. I'm not just in Pound House. I am a huge fan of the show. It's so fucking funny. Have you seen it, Neal?
No.
It's like David Lynch meets like fucking weirdo comedy. It's so good and funny and scary and awesome. I can't recommend it to the listeners enough.
Thanks, Moshe.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't know. We have a tour that's ostensibly in April, but it's not locked. But the East Coast, we're going to come to New York and stuff. Are you going to be there in April?
Yeah, hopefully,
Oh, yours is March.
it ends. It's supposed to end tomorrow. I mean, if I get extended, I'll still be there.
You're gonna get
Oh, cool.
extended. I can feel it.
Right.
You're gonna move straight into 5
I'm going
mics.
to check out those 3 mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, come. It's a good
Yeah.
show.
So I mean, yeah, that's about all I got. Yeah.
So here we are. It's the three white champs, the founding members of this here podcast. I mean, there's probably some new booty people out there that are tuning in right now who never even knew that you were a champ, Doug. They
They
probably
don't go
came
back
in-
to the archives, and once they get a taste, they have to.
No, I think they get a taste, then they go back.
They go back. They go
Yeah.
deep into the archives.
Here's what I can say is that I think we're gonna cut together a greatest hits.
Oh yeah,
And we'll release that as well. Some of the greatest hits of the champs.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What do we want to talk about some of our greatest hits?
Oh, sure, that's a great idea, and we can. That'll give us an idea.
Great minds do think alike.
Who is that?
Let's I think the entire Too Short episode is amazing.
Too Short episode was truly a difficult one for me to get through without stammering like a child.
You gonna edit like podcasts together into one, like, or just Too Short is the greatest hit, and other ones?
No, I think like some of these
people
great
are saying
stories.
Sasha Grey and Flyla. That is a good one.
Yeah, but what I think is more helpful is specific stories. Like, for example, the robots threesome story.
The robot threesome story is Hall of Fame.
Truly Hall of Fame.
What's that? I don't think I was here for that one.
Yes, you were. You were definitely here for that.
Oh, Robot.
The
right,
robot.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I forgot
When
that
he-
guy's
he
name
was
was
asleep.
Robot.
He was asleep.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was sleeping. He told the officer, "I was asleep." I think that turned into a bit for you, didn't it? Is that what it was
I
from?
used it as a tag for a second. I stopped using it as a bit though.
Baron Davis's alien abduction.
Baron Davis, that got us on the back of the New York Post,
Yeah.
front page of the New York Post.
Were you there for that?
What?
Baron Davis.
I don't think I was there.
Oh no, we had a basketball player on who said that he got abducted by aliens outside of Vegas.
And he never told anyone this.
He'd never told
All of a sudden
anyone
he's
that.
like, I'm abducted by aliens.
Also, he
Yeah.
wasn't really telling us. That's what was so weird about it. We were having an interview. It was going really normally. He was talking about like being a basketball player and being an inspirational figure to the youth. And then all of a sudden we were like, yeah, it's something, Las Vegas. He's like, oh yeah, on that freeway I was abducted by aliens. Like out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, he lost like a endorsement with some kid charity or something. He had a charity that lost its funding
Because of the alien thing?
Yeah, no, because of the episode, because of the alien, and because of that episode. Danny Brown was absolutely great, and people pointed out that he sounded like Tyrone Biggums, the Dave Chappelle crack character.
We got Felipe. I've told the story. Somebody just shouted out the Hughes episode.
The sound, garbage sound, but fantastic information. Tupac fight.
Was it Hughes that was talking about, or was that someone else was talking about Denzel?
Denzel, yeah, 38.
38. I've told that story so many
Yeah.
times. The 38 story.
Did you have Denzel Washington on?
No, and Neal
no.
says we ran out of black dudes, so we've never
No.
had Denzel on.
There's probably a lot of black guys left.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't had Denzel.
Riff Raff, people are saying.
Riff Raff was a terrible.
Riff Raff
That
was
was-
a terrible episode.
It was a nightmare for us, but maybe it was an interesting thing.
I don't really think so.
Where-
But,
he would disappear to the bathroom. For,
cocaine.
I think that's what he's
Yeah.
doing.
Actually, what do I know? I
Why
don't
does it
know
take
what
that
he's
long to do cocaine?
Tariq Black Thought was good.
That was a great episode.
That was very good in his hotel room.
We have people writing in on Periscope telling us what the best was. Why don't you
Riff
go-
Raff was the worst. Agreed.
Yeah, that was the worst episode that we've had. I would say that.
We never got LeVar Burton. That would have been a nice cold call. For him.
LeVar, I had on the hook and then lost him.
Yeah.
You know,
Do we know what happened?
LeVar's not interested. That's what I got from his agent. LeVar is not interested.
Robert Townsend.
That was
one of my favorites.
Great episode.
One of my favorites.
Here's
Good.
one you like, Doug. Chris Rock. You had a nice time.
I ask the fucking questions, you give the fucking answers.
That was Doug. Chris Rock was Doug's last episode because Chris
Chris snapped at him.
snapped at him like you're doing Howard Stern. He didn't realize we were going to do a
Chris
drop.
Rock will never come on the Poundcast.
It was a really funny drop.
It'd be so cool if somehow in some universe, Chris
That
Rock,
was the final straw when he told me to stop doing my drops.
Yeah.
I felt useless. I was like,
yeah.
what
Why-
am I
if
doing?
I'm,
here?
if I'm not my drops, what am I?
Exactly.
Superhead.
Superhead
a clinic in craziness.
What's
Got-
Superhead?
She's a hip hop.
That's a person?
Groupie. Yeah, she's a hip hop groupie
Yeah.
that has slept with many of the great
Hip hop
rappers.
groupie.
Yeah. and
Oh,
she's like
man,
a
that would've
famous
been a
hip-hop
great
group.
episode.
It was.
Well,
a
it
great
was. We
episode.
had her on.
She was out of her mind.
Oh, Superhead. Okay, is she
Corinne
from Texas?
Steffens. Probably. I mean, maybe not really, but
But she's known for giving Superhead.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
she
okay.
claimed on the podcast that she never had given head, which was very confusing.
Yeah.
I hated Superhead.
I hated
a lot of people
Superhead.
did. She flirted with me. Did I ever tell you that? She text flirted with me. I felt really good about it.
Did she really?
I mean, who knows if it was real or not, but she definitely did.
How hard? Where did it get?
It got to, you got to come to my party. It was right when I started dating Natasha. She's like, you got to come to my party. I'm going to be very upset if I
Maybe
don't
it was that
see you
gray
there.
area before you guys were locked.
I wish I'd seen that gray area, you know?
You know what I mean?
The gray area.
Her butthole?
Yeah, the gray on the outside.
JB Smooth. People see. Here's my problem.
JB Smooth was that was my personal favorite.
Really? Do you
he
remember
like
anything?
zeroed in on me.
Yeah.
Remember that?
See, Doug. See, the thing you got to understand, Doug.
No. Oh man.
Remember we
that
were
was great.
asking him questions and it was
word
hard for me.
association.
It was like insane.
Right.
It was like free association.
There was
like,
no information.
Sunrise. Somebody's saying the
It was like jazz. He's
Yeah.
like a jazz comedian.
That's true.
Ari Spears was a very real episode.
They were the real ones. You know, we had Tiffany Haddish, a very special episode.
Yeah.
We had Miss Pat. We had JB. We had Aries was intense. I will never forget when we asked him if you could live. Were you there for that, Doug? We asked Aries Spears if you could live 5 years, but have all the fame that you've ever wanted, or live a long, healthy life but be as famous as you are now. What would you choose? And he could not answer the question. It was like a tumbleweed rolled through the
He
studio.
was basically like, I would die to be famous.
Yeah, I would die quickly and young.
So he's like a politician. He kind of just said other stuff.
No, he
was
said
like-
I'd die. He was like, that's a tough question.
Like he's picking a
I'd be
third
willing
choice.
to
Like, can I
die.
just die now instead?
Yeah, he was sort of admitting.
I'm down to die.
Yeah, dying.
Sweet, sweet death.
Yeah, which one was where you die better?
Yeah, he was sort of admitting that he would die to be famous. When Neal called Ari Spears fat, I almost crashed my car.
Says someone on Periscope.
Blake, of course, the Blake Griffin
episodes.
Oh
episodes.
yeah, actually that could be my favorite one.
Those are
Because
pretty
I
red.
had all those nicknames and stuff.
You
lined
really
out.
killed it on that.
You
had Pretty
really,
Red.
you were
Do
nickname
you guys
game
still
was
call him
strong.
Pretty Red?
There were
I feel
people,
I was
several
hoping that
people
would
on here
stuck.
called him Pretty Red.
Pretty Red.
He
And that
rolled-
that was developed by us live because I had these other names like Blake 182. Stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that.
great.
Yeah.
Sounds
Then
like,
we called him like something about his red hair, and then so
I think you
he
called him
was
Pretty
like
Red.
yeah he was like, my hair's not that red, and then you said it's Pretty Red, and I'm like, Pretty Red, that's the name.
Oh, there you go.
We kind of like all developed that.
that was on
nickname,
the fly.
and that nickname didn't stick, so it doesn't really matter.
You know,
but
they
in
call-
my mind,
They
it's
call
a
that
great,
an assist.
I
That's
think
great.
he's told me that
Absolutely.
people will yell out Pretty Red every
You
once
laid
in
it
a
up.
while.
That was a layup.
From
to
the
That
me.
was what.
That's the
Trevor
sweet spot.
Noah.
Trevor Noah
Here's
was
the
great.
thing I'll say about the champs. We got everybody early.
Yeah,
We got
we got Trevor Noah before he was Trevor Nobody.
That's right. He
No,
was,
it was like
Trevor
Trevor
Noah
Noah.
at all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we had Trevor on. We had Gerard was on the first episode.
We had T-shirts for a bit.
So who do you guys wish we had? I would say I'm going to go Cat Williams.
Cat Williams would have been great.
Um,
I guess I always wanted somebody like Cornel West or Neil deGrasse Tyson, somebody sort of outside
Right.
of the normal. What about
I
you,
guess you
Doug?
could call that a dick.
Mooney would have been great. Paul Mooney would have been fantastic.
Mooney,
Obviously
is Mooney
Eddie.
Okay?
I don't know if Mooney's okay.
You didn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No, we
Did
never
you try?
did. We
I met
sort
him.
of
He
tried.
does everything.
I met him.
Yeah, no, he does. We never really asked
Yeah, that's true.
because I think I met him at the Comedy Store and he was like, "Oh, what's the name of the?" I think people tell
he's
me
my
to
favorite
do it.
black-
obviously,
I think he's my favorite black guy.
obviously
Hard to
Chappelle would have been the best.
Yeah,
guy.
but
although
I don't,
it would have
but
been a
Chappelle's
boring
funnier
episode.
in theory. It's funnier to never have gotten Chappelle.
Right,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true. No, that was Chappelle is the me freestyling of the podcast.
Yes, it should not happen.
Yeah.
Kobe would have been good. I feel like I'm not even fucking around. Kobe probably would have done it if I asked him. But it's just not. You can't. And then we would have had to go to fucking Irvine.
Larry Wilmore.
lives.
Larry Wilmore got a show.
baby!
Larry Wilmore got a show out of the
Yeah,
Champs.
Larry Wilmore got a show.
Tiffany Haddish got on the Carmichael show out of the Champs. Gerard Carmichael got the Carmichael show out of the Champs. David Allen Greer got the Carmichael show out of the Champs.
Louis Farrakhan would have been great.
Louis Farrakhan. By the way, I just was watching Louis Farrakhan clips of him on Donahue in the 80s, and I only remembered him really as saying weird things about Jews. That guy is so articulate.
That guy's
and, like,
the most
amazing
charismatic dude in the
it's incredible.
Dude's a genius!
one of the most
Kind of is a genius.
one of the most charismatic guys of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
guy?
Louis
Louis Farrakhan.
Farrakhan. And it's a shame that he
He's way more charismatic than Martin Luther King
Right.
and Malcolm X
Did
combined.
you get Farrakhan on there?
No,
It would've been
we
great.
never asked.
You know,
But I
it'd be
think-
cool. Would you do Cosby? today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have Cosby on today. Yeah.
And
I would have
100%.
him and 50 other guests.
Kanye would have been great. Someone saying Kanye, that would have been
I
really,
think that
really
would have
great.
been insufferable. Let's talk about Kanye.
I don't. You can handle Kanye. Like, Sway took him on.
That's true. But he didn't have the answers.
And Charlemagne takes him on, too.
Charlemagne does have the answers.
And Kanye, yeah, he would have been fine. Yeah, I just couldn't ask people. It's asking people to do your podcast. Don't you just feel like a nagging, like, hey, man.
That's why you farm
Come
it
and
out.
do my
You
podcast.
farm it out
Hate
to a
asking
stranger.
people to do
this
a
is what I'm saying.
podcast.
But you farm it out to a stranger, and if that person is all they do is cold call people. If I was able to cold call Too Short and Big Daddy Kane, think of the guests that somebody with nothing else going on in their life could have gotten.
Yeah,
You got
that's
Short,
true.
you got Big.
I don't know why we didn't.
What else can
Why
you
we
get?
didn't. Why we didn't pursue that.
Hey, listen. There's always Champs season 11.
Killer Mike should have done the show.
He was
by
supposed
all
to do the
rights
show.
was supposed to do the show, and the guy who was his publicist at the time ended up having sexually harassed a number of women.
Sure.
And
that
not.
person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That was Killer Mike's publicist and D'Angelo's publicist, because D'Angelo and Tyler's publicist. So we could have gotten all three of those guys. Tyler was supposed to do it.
We've
also.
had some lost episodes. We had Corrupt, who never showed up. I was
That's
emailing
correct.
with Corrupt.
So you got together and started recording, and he just didn't show up.
No, you were there, Doug, actually. Corrupt's manager had a @yahoo.com email address. Always a bad sign when your manager has a yahoo.com
I mean,
email
Hotmail
address.
is like worse. Yahoo, I can deal with some Yahoos once in a while. But I know what you're saying.
So we were all in the studio waiting for Corrupt, and he'd been amazing at emailing me back. Oh, Corrupt will be there. Corrupt can't wait. Corrupt, it's great. And then the moment Corrupt was late, I never heard from his manager again. It was full stop, no communication, donezo. We had another comedian who remained nameless, who we recorded an entire episode with, and then I got home, and I basically, there was a point in the podcast, remember this, Neal?
Yeah.
Where he said to us, I have 5 hours of A material. And we were like,
Yeah, what?
we were like,
Yeah.
you don't have 5 hours of A material. And he was like, well, maybe 3. And then Neal was like, Chris Rock doesn't have 5 hours of A material. And he's like, I got 3 for sure. Then I went home and I was watching the guy's clip, and I realized he had stolen jokes from like every alternative comic.
this guy's fun.
Oh wait, hold on.
Hold on, here we go. Our
is
guest is here.
Hold on.
Hold on,
I
everybody.
don't know how this is gonna work. Hello?
He's just calling you, I think.
Yo, you're here? All right, I'll come out and get you.
All right, hold on, everybody. We'll be right back with our first guest on the last Champs podcast.
It's really our
of all
only
time.
guest as well.
Do you have
Yeah.
any other repeat guests besides? Why are we acting like he's
Hannibal.
a secret? Like people are gonna know who it is, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, hey, it just feels like it'll be a nice entrance.
Should we keep talking while he's going?
Yeah, we can keep talking.
All right, cool.
So,
how do you-
what
how
do
do
you
you
really
like-
think about Neal? Now that Neal's gone, and he'll never listen to this.
People think I have a beef with Neal. I don't have a beef with Neal. I like Neal.
Well, that's not what.
At his core, he's a good guy.
on his outside,
He's a great guy.
he's a great.
He's a good guy. He drives a Chevy Volt. You know.
Yeah,
he's
that's the sign of
he's
a good
on the
man.
right side of history.
Yeah, when people look back on Neal, they will say that man drove a Bolt.
He's fighting the good fight. He should have just brought his phone out with him.
That's true. That's always a bad move, not to.
Oh man, he's got the worst ringtone.
Hello?
Is he using like a?
Yo, hey, he's coming out to get you right now.
Put him on speaker.
Oh, it's Moshe. It's not Neal. He didn't listen to you because he's outside waiting for you. Nowhere near.
He's nowhere near.
Yeah. I'll go grab him. Did he call again? Yeah, he says he's nowhere near.
Where is he?
I don't know. You gotta.
Where are you, buddy?
He loves the quest.
It's on Melrose. It's Melrose and Van Ness. 37.
Just give him the address.
across from Paramount.
You put the address into the GPS and just go.
You're in Disneyland.
There's got to be no guest tonight, is there?
Past Orange County.
Are you serious?
We're not having a guest.
Why didn't you just give him an
it's-
address and tell him to GPS it? Drop a pin.
He has been. Hold on, my man. Santa Ana, no. No, Los Angeles. It was the top one in Waze. I swear to God it does, because it sent me the screenshot you sent me. It was on the top.
Please keep all of this into the.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Let it
I'll,
ride.
I'll text you.
No
All right, I'll
editing.
text it exactly. All right, no, I'll text it. Hold on.
He's in Santa Ana.
Well, it's okay. I'm the guest.
I mean, that's how I always envisioned it anyway. I said to Neal when he said let's stop doing the show.
Have you had any other guests, any other repeat guests besides Amir?
Yes, we had Felipe Esparza, David Allen Greer,
He came back.
Gerard Carmichael, and Jamar Neighbors popped up as he was on episode 1, if you recall, and he had his own episode.
Wait, so we had 2 guys on episode 1?
Yes.
I thought Gerard was.
No, and Jamar showed up as well.
He's saying Kanye album getting him depressed and shit.
Why?
Because it's so good or because it's so bad?
I'm asking him.
Well,
Maybe it's a sad album.
we can interview him via text.
Have you heard the album? It's like it's Kanye. It sounds amazing, but it's weird. It's definitely odd.
What do you
guys
is
think
happening?
about Kanye?
Great. Yes. What is happening with him?
I think when he has an album coming out, I believe he goes into hypomania.
I mean, that's pretty obviously what it is.
He just has a hypomanic episode and like screams and I can't believe, give me $1 billion. Like that is the most
I'm a creative genius.
Yeah, like but that's that sort of narcissism and that it's
my favorite rapper.
it's a manic episode. That's how you talk.
Yeah.
You go, I'm gonna win 1 million Grammys and I'm a Mark Zuckerberg, give me $1 billion and I'm
one of your buddies is Kanye West.
I'm
Is that
Pablo. I'm like Paul. Because at first people were like, "You're not comparing yourself to Picasso." And he's like, "No. I'm comparing myself to
St. Paul.
to St. Paul.
Oh, way higher
than Pablo Picasso. Like, no, I'm comparing myself to a saint."
I heard this dude.
I'm sick. I don't even like his music that much.
Oh, really? You're
It's
not
like-
a big fan?
I like the production, and it's like interesting. But then once he starts rapping, it's just negative stuff.
He's not a wonderful rapper. Do you think he's a wonderful rapper?
I mean,
Yeah.
he could probably
he's good
rap
at rapping?
good, but
He's
like
my favorite hip hop artist of all time.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because no one's even come close to doing what he's done.
Sonically, he's on
Sonically,
another
he's the
level.
best. He's
he just
8
sounds like
for
a
8.
whiny bitch when he's rapping.
Yeah, fine, but it's either a braggy bitch or a whiny bitch.
Right.
And he
I guess I
chooses-
prefer brag. Well, he's also a brag. I don't
He's
like the
braggy
braggy
bitch
stuff
and a
either.
whiny bitch.
Yeah. That's funny that
Nobody's
think of
made
Kanye as a
And his
paradigm
voice
of not
his
bragging.
voice is a little grating. Like, did you hear that song with him and Kendrick? When Kendrick comes in, it's like, that sounds good. And then Condre's like,
Condre.
Condre. You know, Condre.
Yeah. You've seen that.
I also don't know what I'm talking about. I don't really listen to his albums, but whenever I do hear it, I don't.
I think
I
he's
don't
8
understand
for
what
8.
the big deal is.
you
I think
love
it's-
Jesus.
I think he convinces.
I love Jesus.
I think he convinces people like Neal that he's good.
Well, what do you mean by people like Neal? White people?
Just fans of his, he tells them that he's such a genius all the time.
Here's
Doug,
what- actually-
Doug, I'm sure I've told this story on here.
I'm
You
a
know what his
creative
first
genius.
TV show
Huh?
that he ever did. Have I not bragged about that?
I think you have, yeah. But
Yeah, of
brag
course I
again.
bragged about
It's
it.
been a while.
First TV show he ever did was Chappelle Show.
Yeah, I've seen that
so-
performance.
So yeah, so
What he did-
I think he used to
nothing.
be. He probably used to be way better when he first started.
I actually
Comes
think
out
he's
with
a
a-
lot better
I
now.
I think he comes out with a pink polo and he changed the game.
but he
did
changed. But he
change
also
Changed the game, but just by with his fashion, who
He's
cares?
not wrong that he changed the game with fashion. That is real. That Kanye is the reason that black kids wear tight pants now. I mean, that
He's
is
also the
truth.
reason
Oh, and
Frank
that helps.
Ocean.
That really helped the world.
Frank Ocean, talks the way he. Frank Ocean can do what he does, and Kid Cudi and all those dudes.
By the way, no one's seen Frank Ocean in almost a year, and he's disappeared, and no one knows where he is.
No one's seen him.
That's what I hear. People are like, "Where is Frank Ocean?"
Right, but I don't. That's what fans. I think.
Yeah, his
he was at
family might have seen
Kanye's
it.
show in Madison Square Garden.
But they're saying that his
Skinny
new
jeans is for girls, get some man pants. Skinny jeans is for girls, get some man pants.
They're saying
That's
his,
how I feel.
You don't like skinny jeans?
Is for girls, get some man pants.
I don't know. Who cares?
Well, I think it actually does have some
Time to bring back.
significance.
It's time to bring back the Junkos.
Jinkos.
Jankos.
Yeah. I used to wear Jinkos.
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
Did you, Doug?
I didn't go that baggy. But
I straight up wore Jinkos.
Doug, did you
Loved
see?
it.
Did you watch Making a Murderer?
Yeah.
Did the guy a couple times reminded me of you?
Yeah, I know. Get in line.
Oh, did it? All right, so I'm not alone.
Yeah. Well, I did a tweet that said if one more person says I look like the Making of a Murder guy, there's gonna be more murders. What do you think? That guy's innocent or guilty?
I think it's guilty.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Innocent the first one, guilty the second one.
You mean innocent, the one that he was proven to be innocent of?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going out on a limb. You're going way out on a limb.
I think he is. I think he probably did it, but deserves another trial.
Yeah.
He was certainly fucked with
Bad
by
trial.
the Pope, because he didn't get a fair trial.
Right, but so we can like go through the whole thing again, and then he just found guilty.
Or found innocent. Who knows? But you have the right to a fair trial. I mean, that's
I agree with that.
the basic foundation of our justice system.
He didn't say anything at his trial. Isn't that kind of like a red flag? Like, if you were innocent, if I was innocent, I'd be like,
No, you don't want to testify.
I'm fucking innocent. You have to believe me.
And
You don't want to testify.
Passionate. I want them to see my passion.
Right? They don't trust me. People have tried
Jurors.
that.
I just don't even understand how the first
Would love
48
it.
is even a television show. Like, how come everyone in the hood hasn't seen enough TV to know just to say I want a lawyer and not say anything?
Because I think they panic.
Yeah, everybody panics.
Yeah.
But you know where this is going. You've
Also,
seen the
you
show.
go, I want a lawyer. You don't even know what the. It's one thing to say you have a right to a lawyer. It's another thing to be able to get a lawyer.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think people even fathom that they can just get a lawyer.
Just have
like,
one.
No, the government owes you a lawyer. People probably think like, I don't got money for a lawyer.
That they don't know. Yeah, I can see that. But just don't talk. Steven, or Doug. Steve Doug. If you ever killed again,
Yeah.
just don't talk. Keep your mouth shut until the lawyer gets there.
Have you
Plead
watched
the
the OJ
fifth.
show?
I have seen it, yeah.
It's fucking really good.
It's really good. Although,
Is it like a remake of like the events,
yeah. But there's shit you
or is he
didn't-
on? Is it like his new show?
No, it's a remake of the. It's a remake. And OJ
have you
plays
heard
the
about
villain.
Imagine
the
if he had a
OJ
new
prank
show.
show? But have you heard about the OJ prank show?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I
it was
remember
on
that.
This American Life. Yeah,
I really want to get footage of it. It sounds really amazing. It's a post-murder prank show. So
Post murder, he did a show.
yeah, it was OJ, and he would just like show up and be like, "Blah, remember me? It's the juice, baby." As a director, do you find it distracting that every single shot is like a weird wandering? I don't know what it is.
I like
jib
the
shot?
direction.
What it just every shot is the camera's kind of like sort of dangling down.
it's on a little arm, or it's a dolly.
every shot, every single
Yeah.
shot after shot after shot.
Yeah.
It's never.
Is that okay to say?
I find most TV shows so static
that you like it?
Yeah, like I like a little motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, Moshe.
Is that okay to say?
How is your marriage?
My marriage is good.
But what is it like? What is it? Is it
what's it like
different
being
than?
married?
I will say, yeah. The small difference is I don't feel any kind of feeling of like a fundamental shift in the love, now we're at a deeper level. But I do feel the one thing everybody reports back to you is that you feel a set of permanence, like a kind of roots that are sinking around your relationship. Like, this isn't headed toward a breakup. This is headed toward the rest of my life, which is an interesting and new way.
And have you even come close to that in other relationships?
Not even close. Not
Yeah.
even. I hadn't even gotten into this is heading towards Tuesday. So that's very different. And also, I have a generalized sort of Jewish fear of death, and that's now extended.
Like another Holocaust?
That's yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's like an Holocaust. No, I mean I fear my own death. I'm anxious and I have anxiety.
Now that's worse.
Well, now it's just extended one body's length. So now I'm afraid of my own death and also of hers. And then when you have kids who actually could die.
That's what people say. It's like your heart in somebody else's body.
Is that right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Right? Yeah. I mean, your kids actually, it's an acute danger. If you don't do something, they will die.
Yeah.
And that just has to be crazy making.
Yeah, I think I think like anything else.
Do you want children?
No.
No.
But I think like anything else, you just get used to it.
That fear.
Because, you just live with the fear. Like, you just go like, fuck it. He's probably not going to die. That's the point you have to get to as a parent of like, he's probably not going to die.
Or you
He
gotta
might
like
die.
load up, get 5, 6 kids.
Yeah.
Right, and so you can lose one.
Backups
Hedge
on
your bets
backups.
a little bit.
You'd be
Backups
like,
on backups on
Terry's
backups.
kind of a piece of shit, and we could lose Terry. But Joanne needs to live. What about you? Do you want kids?
I'm still like, I don't even know. I don't know.
Aren't you-
Probably. I mean,
You're not.
I want like adult kids. I don't want to deal with that.
You want to
with
adopt
it.
a 17-year-old?
Yeah, or I want like a grandkid.
You got to go through the motions
I'm a
first.
godfather. I'm a godfather to a couple nieces and nephews. So
Wait.
maybe I can be a father.
So if you catch a break there, yeah.
Catch a break.
Oh, so if one of your good friends dies,
Yeah.
you get
No,
to
my
take over?
sister.
Things break
no,
your
please.
way.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, so if you Stephen Avery this situation,
Yeah.
you could have your own family before you know it. You could marry a woman with children.
Or what else, anything else about marriage?
Oh, what about you? What about you? No kids for sure, according to Natasha's material.
No. I think we're trying to have a kid. We're trying to have a family.
Oh well, Well,
know?
that's a little early for the congratulations.
You just
but-
so what's
Is this an exclusive?
It might be a Champs exclusive. I mean, I'm doing material about it on stage right now. About
so
the
are you
process
just
of trying.
You're just busting.
Well, that's the bit basically. Is
Yeah.
what an intrusive question it is when people say we're trying.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, you fucking hold on? Do you?
Yeah.
One day on, one day off. Raw dog, right? You guys raw dogs.
Yeah. You busting inside?
You got to bust inside. You got to take that Jimmy head off. You got to glaze those walls. Glaze those walls. No, but what else happened was that the main bulk of the bit about child stuff that I'm doing right now is that we haven't.
Can I be a godfather?
Of course.
Can I put my name in the hat?
See, you take out a life insurance policy for me and Natasha and become a child's godfather very quickly, and then strange things start occurring. So, it's been a while, and she's, we're not pregnant or whatever. And so I had to come and I had to go to a fertility clinic to get my stuff checked out.
Even though, come on, man.
What's that?
Come on, you good, man.
I was having some hood shit.
Come on, man. That's on her, man.
It's got to be on her, bruh. She a female, dude. It's
What
gotta be on her,
about you,
bruh.
Neil? You have no faith in the human race. You don't want to have kids.
That's why.
It's not a faith in the human
Or you
race.
came from a big Catholic family, and it's like time for a break.
Yeah, it's like enough.
You've done enough.
No,
The Brennans
I
have
get it.
done
Your
enough.
I get
family's
it.
done enough.
We did it. Brennan's got here. We did some shit. There's no. I can't think. It's never occurred to me to want it.
Really?
Ever.
Well, that's straight up because of the way you were raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no even mystery there.
Right.
Like,
so
I've
should I
seen-
try to
yeah.
override it?
Right,
You know
why?
what I mean? Like I don't want it. And I also don't want to bring a kid here that I may not want.
Right. No, I've been trying to do a bit about that too, which is like parents returning from the front lines to tell you about why you need kids, and I'm going after it based on their word that I will have a theoretical feeling that I've never experienced once the baby arrives. Like they come back
Yeah.
and they go, "There's this feeling
there's
up ahead."
But most of your life has been spent alienated.
The opposite feeling.
Yeah, like I never felt what you
Yep.
people felt.
Yeah.
So why now do you think I'm going to feel this?
Yeah, if you.
I don't doubt. Look, I believe when people are like really passionate about
It
it.
only makes sense, right?
But
It makes perfect
Of course,
biological sense.
they're in the parent club, and they want more members.
No,
yeah,
but
but you're right. It's
I mean, there's
motivated
something to
reasoning. You also don't want to say it sucks because you're stuck for 18 years.
No, but it's also true. I saw a woman walking her baby today on my way back from work, and she was staring at her baby with such creepy fascination.
Women and babies is some other shit.
If it was your nanny, you would fire her.
Yeah.
What I saw today was
For
so
passion.
scary.
I'm firing you for
Wants my tip, man.
too much passion for my baby.
yeah, women and babies. You've heard that. I'm sure we've talked about it on here that when women see babies, their pupils dilate, and when babies see babies, their pupils dilate. When men see babies, nothing.
Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, nothing. Not even a little bit of a change.
That is crazy.
I would like it if it was like a Sex at Dawn situation, you know, like
Sure.
you're just like in this community and there's some babies and you're kind of like everyone's kind of a parent. You're not like the two parents. It's like you have a bunch of parents.
You're sort of responsible for nobody.
Everyone's helping out a little bit. I would like to help out a little bit, not be the 100% helping out.
I've always felt that it takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
That's what I've always said.
I would just be like,
that's
yo,
a cliche that's true.
not my baby.
Well, do you know there's a village in China? Speaking of Sex at Dawn, that's who I learned it from. It's Christopher Ryan, the guy that wrote that book. There's a village in China where the sexual dynamic is such that all of the houses are built so that there are doors leading into the town, and then you come in your door, you're in your bedroom, and then there's another door that goes into the courtyard, right? And all of the women go out the door into town, and they go fuck the men, and they get impregnated. And then they come back, and they give birth to the baby, and they bring it into the courtyard where their brothers raise the children. So the uncles are the fathers, and the men...
Talking about horse people!
The men sexually are just, all they do is fuck the women and get them pregnant. They never raise the children that they inseminate. Does that make sense?
But somebody's raising, but they also inseminated
That's how
other.
I want to do it.
Yeah, the brother is the father.
Right, but the brother has also fucked a woman at some point.
She's out there
and
raising
her
that
brother's raising
Exactly.
it.
That's why we got to do the Chinese champs next.
Chinese champs.
You don't want to say what it is?
I can't remember. I'm going blank.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
it begins with CH.
And
then I lose my way.
Yeah, I'm not grabbing it for some reason.
And how did you see Zoolander, Moshe?
Oh, so that's right. You went to like Rome to work on that.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was probably a fun time.
It was so much fun. 99% of it was like the funnest thing in the world. Living in Rome was dope. It was crazy. And Natasha came out and visited. My family came out. Italy's the most beautiful place in the world, pretty much. You been there?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
A bunch of times, yeah.
It's
It's hilarious.
Hilarious how
Rome's
beautiful.
so... Well, have you ever been to Paris? Paris is so beautiful, you're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You're in Paris. You're like, get the fuck out of here. No lights look like this.
But I think
Rome is so old, you're like, what?
Yeah, no. Italy is diseased by its beauty. It has paralyzed and stagnated their society. All they do is like sit around going like, "Whoa, it's beautiful here. Let's have some more wine," and they never do shit.
We should go on strike.
Yeah, let's go on strike for no reason.
And what did you get a lot of jokes in it?
I have some jokes in it, not as many as I would like, but they all did, I thought, very well. Of the jokes that got really strong responses, I am responsible for many. But mostly it was just like a pretty cool experience.
Well, what are you doing?
Are you happy now?
What am I doing with my life?
That's what I don't understand. It's like, are you gotta act more, man.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I'm in this season of Another Period a whole bunch. I was in Transparent. I was in an episode of Portlandia that aired just this very week. So I'm.
Are you in the new season of Transparent?
This most recent season of Transparent.
Is it out yet?
It is out. Yeah.
What episodes did you start in?
I was in the final episode. I play the father of Jeffrey Tambor.
No spoilers.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You're the father
Jeffrey Tambor had a
Jeffrey
father.
Tambor.
They do a series of flashbacks throughout this latest series.
That's got to be cool.
There's a season that takes place in the 60s, and it's pretty cool. And 40s, 40s and 50s, rather. And then I actually just did a sketch on Portlandia this week that's entirely in American Sign Language, which is pretty awesome. So I'm getting out there. I'm doing my thing.
All right, good. I don't want to see you waylaid.
Oh, by this writing game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's easy to get seduced into that.
Or do it. Or be
Just
right
be
and direct.
that. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. It's the whole thing. But I got a bunch of cool stuff going on. We just sold a show to Showtime. Me and Zach Krager from Whitest Kids You Know. We just sold a half-hour comedy to Showtime, which I'm excited about. And then I have a pilot on Comedy Central that we're taping in a couple of months.
What's the premise?
It's called Problematic. It's basically like a sort of talk show that sort of deconstructed dealing with issues of sort of internet sort of controversy, like public shaming or transgender stuff. It's not a news-driven thing. It's kind of like taking a single topic, and then we might if the topic was like Black Lives Matter, like maybe I'd bring you on that week, and you would actually do a segment in the field as a guest correspondent. And this week you're the white guy that thinks he's black, and that's your thing. What does that look like? Whatever. So it's stuff like that, basically.
What do you have to do for it?
We're doing 2 field pieces, and then we're doing basically an in-studio thing where we're like it's kind of a Phil Donahue, Morton Downey Jr. thing where we're out kind of doing crowd work and stuff and having experts in the audience kind of mixing it up. And hopefully, if in success, it'll be kind of like a Morton Downey Jr.-ish Dick Cavett kind of like old school, insane kind of churning
Klansmen
imbroglio
guys in
with comedy.
Superhero
Yeah,
outfits.
but with comedy added. Original
Neal,
podcaster.
or both of you guys, what do you think about the
election?
The election stuff.
Who do you think takes it all the way? What do you think, Doug?
I think Bloomberg steps in and takes it all the way.
Is that true?
Didn't he threaten
he's
to
talking about
step
it.
in?
Yeah.
He's talking about. I don't think Bernie's going to win, and I don't think Trump's going to win. I think people are going to finally go like, "Wait, what?"
I think Bernie might come in.
And what? And who will it be? Hillary versus who? Jeb
Hillary
Bush,
versus
Rubio?
or Jeb Bush.
Not Cruz.
Cruz is just ugly. That's the thing. Is
Rubio failed pretty hard the other day, though.
Since the dawn of TV, all presidents have been good looking except Nixon.
Right.
Like it's important, and Nixon would have like
what about
Nixon
George
lost.
Bush?
George
Not George
Bush
W.
looked like
Bush.
something. George Bush
Bush
looked all right. George Bush looked like George W. Now, like just slightly older. He wasn't like Ted Cruz is ugly.
Yeah, you're right. He looks like a melty troll.
Yeah, he
Like
looks
his
like
face-
a Quentin Tarantino character. Is what he looks like.
He looks like Quentin Tarantino if he had jaundice, and gout,
Yes.
and diabetes,
Yeah,
and he was evil.
but yeah, I don't think Trump's going to win.
Why don't you think Bernie can win?
Because
Same reason Trump, kind of. You're saying
yeah,
reality
they're
will bite.
too extreme. It's like no one's going to go, oh yeah, we should do socialism. The only people that want socialism are under 30. So
And those are the biggest voting.
Is it?
no, it's not the
demographic.
biggest. I don't think
which,
it is,
which
Doug.
I heard that yesterday.
That they're
Where
the-
the-
I'm not doing the poll myself.
That under
Yeah.
30s are the biggest voting demographic?
It's something like that.
That
and
seems
women,
hard to believe.
Women and under 30
Let's see
Interesting.
who the biggest.
Who are you
voter
voting
was.
for?
who are turning out.
I don't know. I think Hillary.
And what about
think.
you? Are you feeling the burn?
Yeah.
I'm actually doing Kasich.
Casey Kasem.
Yeah, Casey Kasem.
Kasem.
No, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders too. I think. I mean, yeah, I am. I think basically like Hillary Clinton represents to me like nothing but like she's more of the same, and I sort of think like you have to kind of vote your ideals, not
What is
your resignation.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm going back and forth on that.
yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
it's hard. It's hard.
where I'm like, am I pissing in the wind? Is this reckless?
Right.
What am I mad at? I'm mad at campaign finance. Is what I'm mad
Yeah,
at.
that's,
I'm mad at campaign finance.
and that's what Bernie is like super against.
Right.
And
I'm mad at campaign
that's-
finance.
That's one of the biggest problems. I
That's a
think.
big problem. I'm mad at corporate personhood and corporate welfare, which is another thing that he's rallying against. Like, truly, what do I think the real problems are? I think that Bernie's focus on those things is right on. You know, when people say he's a little bit tone deaf on race, I mean, everybody's tone deaf on race, but I kind of think like, I actually think that poverty is a bigger problem. We've talked about this on the show before. Poverty is a bigger problem than racism. Black Lives Matter is a huge and important movement, but more important is ending the poverty gap, because that will actually empower people a lot more than.
And education would too. It would kind of bring everyone up.
Yeah.
I think.
And I think that like police brutality it's a loud problem, and it's a scary problem because it looks terrifying, and it is terrifying, and it's something I obviously as a white man don't have to worry about anywhere near like how a black man does. But in reality, if you're looking at the sort of broad march of history, poverty. Eliminating poverty is going to make a bigger difference than getting police to stop profiling black men.
Yeah, that's putting a Band-Aid on the problem.
Right.
Solve the root of it.
Yeah.
I don't think white cops when they see a black person, I don't think they go, oh fuck, a poor person.
No, that's totally true, but it's all, and I hate to use the word systemic because that's the only word anybody uses anymore, but it's all connected. It's like
You're fired.
There is something special about black-white racism that is unique to our country that doesn't exist in any other kind of racism. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, it's the joke I've tried to make, which is when a white person crosses the street, they're not trying to avoid a black person. They're trying to avoid their own karma.
right.
Where it's like,
right.
oh, there's 3 karmas coming at me. Like,
Yeah.
it's a marked thing. It's like white people know that there's a lot of blood on our hands culturally.
You're not
and
crossing-
historically. So you're like, I don't even want to deal with this shit right now.
Right, you're not crossing the street to avoid that black guy.
Shit.
You're also trying to avoid his great
every black,
grandfather.
yes, all black people, everything white people have ever done to black people.
Right, and it expresses itself in its
You're
weird.
crossing the street to get out of the 1800s.
That's right. Yeah,
I think that's what it is. I really do. I think it's like
white guilt kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I always say. Like whenever we talk about,
Is that what this whole podcast is about?
Basically,
White guilt?
well, that's what I was going to
Boils
say.
down to.
I was going to say it's the black-white story is so intriguing because it's not just about racism. It's also about it's about fear and worship. So it's like white America simultaneously is terrified of black America and also worshipful of it. It wants to be it. It wants to eat it and drink it and imbibe it and become it. But at the same time, keep it separate and safe and sanitize it and safe. And maybe that is why we started the Jams. Is this worship? It is on some weird level.
Just to explore it.
We're part of the same dynamic. We're the positive, the yin part of the yin and yang that is American black-white racism. That like I said, doesn't exist in Arab white racism. It doesn't exist in Latino.
Well, everywhere
white
else in
racism.
the world, black people are so marginalized. Other than Africa, it's like, and even Africa, they're marginalized by colonialism.
But we've actually
there's almost zero black identity in Europe. There's no black people in Australia for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
There's none in Asia. And there's some in it's all the black people are in Africa or America.
Well, this is what I was going to say, Doug, is like in terms of poverty, and to your point, like when a white cop harasses a black dude, he's not he's not seeing a poor person.
Yeah.
But what you do is when you cannot stop racism because it's too savage and it's too in our DNA. But you can sidestep it by raising people's economic living situation and bracket up and up and up until the things that are fueling the racism are just not. They don't have. They're on fumes because we've gone a separate direction. And when everybody's wealthy and successful, that violent kind of racism is just going to go away of its own accord. I think. Or maybe I'm naive.
That's how. When do you think that happens?
I think
Bernie, day one of Bernie's presidency.
No, but I think that you can see it. I think
that's the
you
other
can
thing
see
about
it in-
Bernie
in-
is like that. People every presidential election, it becomes about electing a king.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like these motherfuckers have. They're just a branch of government. They're
Right.
not the king. They can't just pass laws.
No, I think you see it in affluent black cities, and I know this is oversimplifying it, but when you see it in affluent black neighborhoods, I think that the people that live in affluent black neighborhoods, black people that live in affluent black neighborhoods, are in a less dire situation on every level, including police violence, than people that live in an impoverished black neighborhood. And I think that obviously the great thing about the sad thing about the black reality is that once that person from the affluent black neighborhood drives to the hood, they can't say, "Oh no, I'm from an affluent black neighborhood." They are just immediately lumped into this racist sort of glob.
They also can't say that when they're in any neighborhood.
Yeah.
They can't. A lot of times they can't even say it when they're in their neighborhood.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, when I growing up, thinking about like what I perceive as like a black dude. That's like, oh, this black dude acts what I perceive as like white or something. And I was like thinking that is obviously it's kind of a racist idea, but it's also like that person still has people crossing the street away from them, which is, and so you can't even the person that you perceive go, well, that dude just reads comic books and he's like a nerd. He's still, some old white lady still clutches her purse to her chest and crosses the street.
Yeah. Hold on.
What do we
guest
got?
Is here.
We've done it. We've got a guest.
You think Neal's against Bernie because he'd take all
Jewish?
his money away?
Oh, because he's from the billionaire 1% class?
He's a 1%er.
Well, what's funny is both Neal and Amir are probably closer to the tax bracket, troublesome tax bracket than you or I are.
The evil tax bracket.
That's right. And that's how you actually, to me, that's when a person becomes actually an impressive progressive, is when they are saying, this is going to really fuck up my quality of life, and I'm still for it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
What's up?
Hey.
How do you feel, man?
It's like the show's over already, right?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Let me Periscope for a second, just because we.
How was your drive?
Horrible.
It's fun driving around, right? You don't get to drive around in New
2
York.
hours with the new Kanye West record, man. I feel suicidal right now.
How long is it? Is it 2 hours long or you put on repeat?
I put it on
it is
repeat.
long though.
Why do you feel suicidal about the new Kanye?
Yeah, tell us about it.
That album's not made for road driving at nighttime.
What's it made for?
I mean, you just start.
Like,
I mean,
for a
like,
jog or something?
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm like,
Is it sad music?
it's definitely a sequel to Yeezus.
Is
Well,
it
with
that
more-
out there? Is it that sonically out there?
I mean, it's normal for Kanye, but I mean, it's not that out there. But yeah, I mean, clearly, it's a weird listen. I can only compare it to two other records,
And what are those records?
the Black Music Lexicon.
Hit us.
Sly Stone's "There's a Riot Going On,"
That's pretty good company.
and Old Dirty Bastards' "Nigga Please" album.
Are those similar albums to each other?
I missed
That's
this.
your left.
We missed all of it. It's Questlove, folks.
Yeah.
Our final guest. The only three-timer. The only.
No, I'm a two-timer.
He's not a 2-3-timer.
I thought
This
you were
is
here
only
twice.
a second time.
Nah, I thought I was going to come back for the 100th episode celebration.
Well, this
Then
is close enough.
I was like the 1000th episode.
You didn't do
celebration.
two?
Nah,
Oh, shit.
I was trying to.
You've had such a heavy
I
presence.
didn't know it was
The
coming
first
out.
one seemed like 2. It was so great.
Yeah, and
I
the
didn't know I was
presence-
coming to the champ's funeral. Like,
Oh, so that sad album, now you gotta go to
All
a
right.
sad podcast.
This is a depressing day for you.
yeah, man. I was like, great. This is not even a celebration. I'm pondering what my life means now.
Without this podcast?
Well, yeah, that too.
Wait, you always had kind things to say about the philosophical reality of this podcast. What is it? What did you?
What did we contribute? What did we do, Amir?
Even though you guys paint the novelty behind the podcast being, black dudes only, as in, we're an accessory or novelty. I have to say that you guys really go to the psychological surface of black people's psyche, I guess. Which did y'all rehearse this?
No.
No, I'm just saying that, for the most part, I don't think black people are too cool or keen on the idea of being self-analytical or the idea of therapy or that.
I have a joke in 3 Mics now where I say the only black dudes are only allowed to be sad in public if they use a saxophone.
It's a good joke.
Yeah.
Well, what
That's
do
a
you think?
good one.
What do you think that is?
Well, after the Wyatt episode, it's like,
Oh yeah, the
You know.
Wyatt Sinek episode to Bananas episode.
The Tiffany Haddish episode stuck with me for weeks.
Her episode. Yeah, I was wondering. I think
Yeah.
I stopped going to the gym after that shit. Like,
Oh, there's the sad black guy.
I was on the treadmill, like, what the hell? Man, is she okay? now?
She's doing
Yeah.
great, actually.
Okay, good.
Tiffany's doing
She's
great.
basically Penny from Good Times. Is we had her as a guest on the show.
She's doing great. She's in Gerard's show, and she's in that new movie Keanu that Jordan and Keegan are doing.
Yeah.
So she's really.
That's
doing
her
well.
on Gerard's show. That's her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the girlfriend, the sort of
The other one.
hoodie,
Yeah. That
she's
girl,
also
the
in
girlfriend Shadow Stevens' daughter.
Is that true?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The
You
Shadow
know,
Knows.
you know her?
I've met her a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I knew she was mixed. I knew it.
She's ours.
Wait,
we
what was,
actually.
besides the Center Square, like, what else was Shadow Stevens? He's
Wasn't
a
he
radio
a DJ?
personality?
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. The Shadow Knows, right?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Now, what do you? And you think that psychology thing exists because of like all things, because of slavery, right? Not wanting to be cool, not wanting to not be cool.
Well, I
not
know that
wanting
we often are we think of it in a dismissive level, sort of as like crazy white people shit. And
It's ridiculous to do therapy.
We tend to run to, our answer is church.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Like, I'll talk to my pastor,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. They think like religion is the answer. And you can replace it with drugs or whatever, whatever. You're going to get some sort of vice. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh,
But
that's interesting. Yeah,
I think
that
the
it is.
pain is too much for people to actually delve into and recapitulate. Almost, it's almost too much to handle. So the fact that you guys were able to pull,
Okay, well then let's ask.
That's a
how do you
miracle.
deal with it? How do you deal with? It's a broad question, but how do you deal with just being?
With the general melancholy of
Yeah.
being black in America?
Yes,
You
it's an
can
incredibly
wake up to your
broad.
higher self.
It's a really.
I mean, my
broad
thing's
question.
different. Like, I believe in therapy because of the particular path that I've chosen.
Right.
You know, I'm certain that these 16 jobs are not just me loving to work. You know, I mean, I can acknowledge
you're a
that
workaholic.
I'm trying to escape something.
Do you have
know what I mean?
16?
Yes.
I still have 16. I mean, when I did the last episode, it was like 14, 13, 14.
Oh, you got 2 jobs since the last time we saw you?
Oh, congratulations!
Picked up a
man.
couple-
That's awesome,
couple
man. Good
shifts?
for you.
I got 3
You at
more
Dunkin'
jobs.
Donuts now. You got the Tonight Show. You got Dunkin' Donuts and Best Buy, correct?
Yeah, no, it's literally 16. So
Walk us through them. Drummer for the Roots.
Sesame. Well, okay, now I got to go backwards. Sesame Street.
What do you do on Sesame Street?
I'm trying to get
Are
my.
you Big Bird?
I'm trying to get my Joe Raspo.
Wait a minute.
Are you Big Bird?
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
wait
dog.
a minute.
I knew you from somewhere.
Yo, you know what? Black people, we don't believe in therapy, but we believe in Big Bird.
Yeah.
Wait, why you have to chop and screw it? Oh, someone broke it down. Who's this?
DJ Fletch, the chopped and screwed Sesame Street theme.
Very good.
That's
Doug,
the
we
recipe,
missed you.
too.
We missed you, Doug.
Just,
You know, this is the first time Doug's been on the podcast, and
I
Since
insisted.
the Chris Rock episode.
I insisted.
Yeah.
I hate Chris for
So-
saying that, man.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, when I was working on the Hamilton record, one of my co-producers, Bill Sherman, he's currently the Joe Raspo of Sesame Street.
Joe, who's
This is
Joe
too much of
Raspo?
it. Okay, yeah, Joe Raspo was like the main songwriter.
Oh,
of,
got it.
Of the 70s and
Got it.
80s. So now that's what he does.
Hamilton.
Hamilton, you
Well,
produced
no, I
he
produce
produced
records.
the record.
I produce records.
He produced the cast recording. What did you do differently on this cast recording? Amir produced for the Hamilton musical, won the Grammy last night.
The studio. Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
2.
won 2 Grammys.
Also,
You're
yeah,
saying the
D'Angelo.
studio, like the,
What was
the
the other
thing that I
Grammy
would
that-
download.
when
D'Angelo.
when you record Broadway records, because they're so anal retentive and always watching the clock, and there's union fees and all that stuff. It's basically like they go in the studio, they stay there for 15 hours and record the entire play from start to finish, and then you're out. Like, they don't care about the quality of it, and it's like, who's buying a Broadway record in this day and age?
In most cases, yeah. Except for
this
this show,
show.
they will.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, you know. And I told them that. I asked them from the gate, like, is this a thing where you're just leasing the Roots name, you know, to be part of it? Or do you really want me to, you know, give opinions? And, you know, it was the latter for them. And I told them, for starters, you guys can't micromanage the time. Like, we have to make this, like, I have to be blown away the way that I was when I sat in the audience and seen this play. And, you know, we're going to have to mix each song and maybe do it 3 or 4 times, because really the rules of Broadway is you just do it once. That's it. There's
Are
always
they
a person.
recording on the stage or something?
No, they're in a
Why
studio.
why are there union like why are they so
It's
dogmatic
just
about the
old.
clock?
It's just old, way old.
I get
an
it.
old time period where it was
Yeah.
supposed to protect musicians from overworking.
Got it.
No, I get it on a level because they're thinking, you know, we're Broadway people. We can do this live. We do this live, and
Well,
you just
we're still the
press
same
record.
way. Like, while we were recording, there was 2 people there, always with the stopwatch on, and they were like, "Okay, 11 minutes till break, 3 minutes till break." You know,
Wow.
So
It's annoying,
it was. I mean, it
How
was
many
necessary
sessions?
for that world.
right?
But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if we had to overdub some vocals, then, you know,
How many sessions did you
some
end up
people.
doing?
We did an unprecedented, like, 2 to 3 months worth of recording, which is just unheard of.
Yeah.
Atlantic was willing to bite the financial bullet, because every session that was, you would have to pay the entire cast a particular union fee. Which
And
which
you
was
recorded the orchestra first.
costly. They recorded all the music first. Where I came in, there's about 8 of us, and 8 of us all had our areas of expertise. So I felt that I was more.
Who are the other 8?
Worthy. I was like Tim Latham, Alex Lacrimore, Lynn Manuel.
Okay,
himself.
so it's people on the show and you.
Now, Neal, did you see the show?
No.
You haven't seen it, but you were blown away when you saw it.
Yeah, probably. I thought Fela was the only thing I'd be amazed at.
Mm-hmm.
This went beyond Fela.
Dude, I gotta say, I know I'm in the minority.
No, I'm with you. I think I want to hate it so bad.
Doesn't look good to me.
I want to hate it so bad.
I saw it last night. The Grammy. I'm like, I literally said to my girlfriend, I'm like, all right, let's give it another chance.
Let me ask you to tie it back into the first question we were asking about the black reality in America. Like,
I have a tendency to over exaggerate some shit.
Yeah.
This is one of the rare things
that lives up
that
to
I'm
it?
under exaggerating.
Okay. No,
I've he's got 11 jobs to go through still.
There's only one person I know that went on record to saying that she didn't like it. And
who's that?
I'm not going to put her on the spot.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, though, this question.
But her famous father was also dismayed that she didn't like it.
Oh, that's funny.
No.
I know who it is.
So, she have a new show on TBS?
She might.
Okay,
No,
so
she doesn't.
So, theater in general has been criticized for sort of like being this glass ceiling of white intelligentsia, rich people, and that's all that watches
Exactly.
it. And then now Hamilton comes along, and not only is that still true, it's $1,000 to get in, and it takes 6 months to get tickets, but it's hip-hop now. So it's like, no one in this... Who can even see this thing?
Probably the most dismaying thing about Hamilton, usually like when intermission comes, is sort of that whole, smuggy, finally a reason to love hip hop. Like,
right.
hip hop is an art form.
If they talk about Hamilton, only if they're talking about founding fathers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel as though you have to be willing to emotionally accept and open yourself to new ideas in the art form. And the way that Straight Outta Compton hits some sort of people, and 3 Feet High hits some people, and The Chronic hits some people, and Illmatic hits some people, the effect is now working on Hamilton. Because now what's happening is a good bajillion grandparents or parents or people older than me, they're now, okay, well, I'm going to get this Illmatic on Spotify and see what it's about. I mean, it's 30 years past the point, but
I think what you're saying
opposite.
is black people aren't gonna get to see it. Or Latino people,
Lynn
or
is fixing
Asian,
Lynn is fixing that with the lottery system. A lot of times they'll give the whole balcony area to high schools to kids who can't afford it. I think students now, with your ID, you can, you'll pay a very reduced fee. Like
but you got to get
to,
get. I mean, I'm not criticizing anybody because obviously it's a brilliant work.
Well,
of
it's
art
a moneymaker, so of course they're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like who's a kid in I don't know, deep Brooklyn gonna go, oh, I hear that the orchestra seats are available to student. I mean, he doesn't even care. Like,
it's the same person who doesn't know he can get a lawyer.
That's exactly
really
right.
is.
They're very much aware of this problem, and they're taking serious.
I believe that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's kind of
they
the
don't
whole
want to be
core
that
of the show.
inaccessible to it. Yeah. But
that's true
they're
with theater
aware.
in general, by the way. That just, it just happens at Hamilton.
It
as a
happened on
hip-hop
Bringing the
musical.
Noise, Bringing the Funk.
Right.
Like it happened 20 years ago. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure. I could almost guarantee that.
Since I've been I studied theater before I got into comedy and stuff, and this has been a existential crisis for theater for 20 years. It's just like nobody but old white people is interested in us, and increasingly so with every passing year. So to the extent
outsiders aren't welcome.
But well, I'm just saying that to really ease your cynicism, you'll respect Hamilton.
Okay.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm
yet to
just
see somebody.
curious.
Dave loves it.
Yeah.
Eminem loves it. Like
Yeah.
anyone who you could just imagine with their arms folded, like, okay.
I got to say,
Impress me.
Eminem liking it, when you had the picture of him, I was like, okay.
Yeah. That actually did it for me too.
Yeah.
Eminem,
I don't even like Eminem's like not my guy or anything. Like I respect him as a rapper.
You know,
ton,
how okay, I know I'm the outsider comedy person that always has the wrong reference with you, but you know, inside like a Dan Harmon production is, or I don't know if you've seen
the shit he does, the Tim and Eric stuff. Like that's a classic. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just on a hip hop level, it's three birds with one stone. So even if you don't know any hip hop references whatsoever, and they're throwing that at you a mile a minute, as a hip hop head, you'll be like, oh shit. But even from a historical level, people are just amazed at how the story's told. So they're not even getting the hip hop references. But as a storyline, it's great. And then at the end of the day, these songs are just catchy as hell. Like, they're really well crafted, well written songs. Like I could probably, if I could just shamelessly sample and interpolate half of the Cast album, I could have 6 classic Roots albums.
But why don't you do that?
We are doing that.
Okay.
The next album is what it initially was. It was just going to be a mixtape.
Right.
He was going to make a mixtape of people rapping as the forefathers,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh, why don't I make a play out of this? And then, but we're making the mixtape right now.
So the whole etymology of the show is that.
It started out as a mixtape.
Got it.
That's how we started the Champs. We were a mixtape, you remember? And you would let me freestyle back then.
Yeah.
Job 10.
Okay. Scoring movies. Damn. I just literally got 3 more in the last week, and now I can't remember one.
What's a movie you've scored recently?
This film called Vincent Roxy. It's I forget the name of the film. It's not Toronto. I think we're about to enter Toronto.
Telluride
this year.
Toronto this year, got coming up.
Yeah, coming up. But it stars Zoe Kravitz, the cat that played Eazy, and
he's so good. By the way, he was my eye was on him the entire movie.
He's magnetic.
So good.
Here's what I'll say about that movie, and this speaks to the entire no nominees thing. I think the only person I saw that deserved a nomination was Idris Elba.
Was the Easy?
Oh, it was Idris Elba. He was great.
I thought. Here's what I'll say for the Easy. I thought he was great. I thought the Jerry curl wig did 60% of the work. And the other thing was like they deserve it. Dude, Ice Cube was played by his son.
That
like,
Ice Cube,
come on,
son,
man.
Ice Cube, you couldn't tell.
Cheating.
Yeah, it's like that's what I did a joke. It's
Or-
like, how did you prepare for the role? Well, I was born and then I waited.
Yeah, I thought the Easy dude was good, but Idris was really transcendent, and it was in Beast. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
definitely. But what about that kid though?
In what?
In Beast of No Nation.
Yeah,
that kid was amazing.
Yeah, everybody in that movie deserves it. But it's just too stark. It's just too scary.
The movie itself is too scary. But if it had been about white people, they would have gotten nominated.
Well,
I hate that
Idi
argument,
Amin got,
by the way. I hate that argument, by the way.
Forrest Whitaker got an Idi Amin nod, so we're
you know that argument, though, where people go, oh, if it had been this, then it would have been this. It's like, you don't know.
You mean like a Michelle Pfeiffer character to save them, or?
No, if that had been a movie about a white crisis, then they would have gotten... I always hate that form of argument because it's like.
Amir, can you speak to? Do you think it's a supply side issue? Right? There's no black movies. They don't make black movies, so there's
well.
Nothing
The
to
thing
nominate.
is that I think the award season is the period at the end of a sentence, and you kind of have to go to the beginning of the sentence and start. So it's really about what's the hiring techniques, or even if there's a need to fulfill satisfying a particular demographic.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
I'd long for smart, like what do you call it? What did I just see? I'm really not a Marvel guy, but I just saw
Deadpool.
I know somewhere out there there's a film of that level that's
Yeah, Black Panther right? Or Black whatever. It's coming out.
That's Ryan Coogler, right?
Yeah, Ryan Coogler's doing the new. I guess it's Black Panther.
But who knows
right?
what level that'll be at? But did you
Ryan
think he
Coogler's
deserved,
2 for 2?
Do you
I
think he deserved a
No,
nomination?
it's a good movie. It's a popcorn movie. It's not.
That's true.
It's not,
No, you're right.
It's not an Academy Award nomination
Which one?
movie. Rock Creed. I don't think Stallone. Stallone only got it because he's old
I think
and
it's
he made a
sentimental.
lot of money for people.
Yeah, I knew when I saw it that Stallone was going to get Best Supporting Actor.
Me
Yeah.
too. What was the best movie you saw this year, Neal?
Was the Amy Winehouse movie this year?
Yes.
That movie fucking devastated me.
I've never walked out of a movie theater before, ever.
You couldn't take it.
You're in it, right?
Here I am. Yeah, the last.
Yeah, you were. They were like they talked all the time.
I never really went public on like my relationship with her, but I mean, when I saw that, then it all started coming back.
Did you know all the stuff that was in the documentary?
Dude, we would Skype all the time each other.
Yeah.
And I felt that that actually leads me back to the whole Kanye argument. Like, I felt I had a conflict with me. Like, okay, am I enabling her by turning a blind eye? Because sometimes she'd Skype me, and I did not like what I was seeing on the the other side of things.
There's a scene in the movie where Mose says
told me that she smoked in front. Yeah, and like
That's the problem with troubled geniuses. Is everybody lets them keep being troubled because they don't want to ruin the genius.
Yeah, it's just like
you lose access is the bigger problem.
If you
that's the
say
thing.
stop,
I was afraid. Yeah,
right.
I definitely felt like my first month at 30 Rock when we were like really Skyping the shit out of each other. It was bad, and I just didn't know what I was just like. Am I like I felt like such a phony by just acting like everything was normal.
Yeah.
When you say you lose access, you mean is it on a selfish level that you're afraid of losing it, or is it on a I can't help at all?
I mean,
I'm
I've
gone.
called people out before, and then once you expose them, then it's like they avoid you.
They avoid you forever. So
Right.
professionally,
that's what I was
like,
asking.
if you're
I don't mean to
taking
be
a
gauche
risk.
with the question.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
But it wasn't a thing like, oh man, if I tell her this, then we're not going to do the project anymore. But it was just like, I didn't know what to do. Like I'd just never been in the situation
because you probably
before.
didn't know her that well, right? You got to know her quickly, but you wasn't like you knew her for years and years.
Our
right?
closeness was never that personal that we would talk about Blake or anything.
Yeah,
it was really just about music.
Yeah.
Like, and I have enough knowledge in my head, and she and hers that we could have a 3-hour conversation alone about Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
But not going about,
yeah,
I had a breakup or, that sort of thing. So, really it was just, we kept it music. So I don't know if that was purpose or design or just our defenses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But never once have we ever just talked about.
Yeah, so it's a
our
professional, it's a extremely warm professional relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do in that situation?
Right. That's too tough.
Because it's not like your family. It's not like you're getting to be friends, but you're not quite friends yet. So, so what do? You just like...
Well, drug addiction is also so mysterious. It's like there's just so little you can do because it's simultaneously like an illness and it's also a behavior problem. They're going to act an ass and they're also sick. And it's very difficult. As opposed to a regular illness where you just feel bad for that person. You also go like, fuck, and this person's also acting crazy.
Yeah.
It's baffling.
Yeah. Well, she was...
Again, now I got to lead it back to the record. I felt like if we encourage it, because I don't want to do the whole hyperbolic statement like, oh, it's a classic or it's not a classic or whatever.
You're talking about Kanye's record.
Yeah. I haven't passed judgment on it yet or given an opinion of how it felt because it's only a week old. Like you really can't.
Is it out, by the way, or do you have a special?
You can get it on title, but you can also just download it illegally.
I know nerds.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, you just announced today that he's not going to release it on iTunes at all.
Yeah, but and I know Kanye. He doesn't change his mind once he has something.
Like he's going to cut his nose just to spite his face.
Who was
the
his
stat
favorite
last night
Jay
at
or
the Grammy, and I was just like, you could get it on Tidal, but
right. But why is he doing that?
Well, he'll get that $1 billion from Facebook.
That Zuckerberg billion.
This is definitely coming in.
The Zucker billion. I mean, I think
that's the thing. Like when I saw the entire staff of the label last night at the Grammys, and I was just looking at them like, is this where you guys take the collective vacation together? And just the look of like, I know that look in the eyes when like, you got to take it no matter what. And again, are we enabling someone for our own entertainment? Like I always describe Sly Stone's There's a Riot Going On. Of course, it's like the first funk record. So a lot of people will have all these like
and it does
rosy
not
memories.
Have the first computer drum machine.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the beauty of it. Like, oh, it's a funk record, technology. But really, it's just a very bad reality show watching someone having a meltdown for an hour on record, and it's like watching a car accident.
Well, that's what we were saying. He's just having a manic episode.
But the difference is now that America is gleefully sucking on Kanye's bones. Like we are so.
Yeah, but we're also disposable culture.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So what happens when we're done with him?
Right. Well, we're all looking at him with such disdain and criticism for his behavior that we're simultaneously critiquing him for being inappropriate while we make fun of his hypomanic episode.
Yeah.
So it's like who's the culprit here? Is it this guy we call this narcissist, or is it society?
Or is it us?
Yeah, it's us eating
and
it.
I borderline feel like it's me.
Right.
Because I'm still going to buy the records, and I'm still going to. Who else am I? Like, I get up at 4 in the morning. Last time I got up at 4 in the morning just to get the update on something was like day one of the Meek Drake beef to see if Meek finally responded. But I feel like I'm the culprit, and I don't like the fact that he brings that ugliness out of me. Like, makes me realize that.
Like the ambulance.
Like I want to see blood.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But what can we do collectively? Because let's say Kanye. Because I don't want to go on record as any of us saying anything about Kanye. Let's say it seems like he's having a manic episode, which it almost seems like he has one whenever he releases a record. What can we do? Can we not buy the record? Can I don't know. I mean, the only people that know, we have mutual friends out there. But what do you do? Like
how can we help Kanye? Doug, how can we help Kanye?
Well, we should talk to the people at Pitchfork and give him that 30 out of 10 that he requested.
Yeah, no, it was a 50.
50 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's so
what
interesting.
rating did he give it?
They gave it like an 8 or a 9, but he was like...
He said Pitchfork,
it's
a 50.
But like... Kanye seems like kind of insatiable. Like,
yeah.
Say they gave it a 50, he wouldn't be happy with that, right?
Yeah. Kanye, just like a drug addict, is doing things that are simultaneously like pitiable and offensive. The Bill Cosby thing doesn't endear anybody to go like, we've got to help this guy. It's like he's both saying "fuck you" and "help me" at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. As a fan, even if I was friends with him, what can you do? The thing is, someone like that is so powerful and so charismatic and so rich or ostensibly rich. Maybe he's $53 million.
It's unclear. Did you see the tweet today? It was so funny. He goes, I know people who work, I know a person who works 15 hours a day and she only earns $370 a day. It's like, that's $96,000 a year. It's like, there's a lot. You're so out of touch. You're so in the sky.
Do you think he's just surrounded by sycophants and there's like nobody who is like,
you can't tell him. There's nothing you can. First of all, the thing about Kanye, I've said this on the show. He's 8 for 8, so he's never made a bad record.
Right.
Everything he say.
Oh, wait a minute, Jason. This is a good review.
You're looking at the picture. No, of course it's a good review.
Jason Green gave it a 9.
Yeah, and he said
it's a 50. It's a 50.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd give my freaking right arm for a 9. Like, what the fuck? What?
A Pitchfork 9 is pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
but a Kanye
really
50. That's reality.
What? So what are we
And
supposed
I'm
to
shocked.
do?
Well, not shocked, but I thought, okay, the misogyny is going to be too much for them, so this will probably get like a 7.1, and then.
Is there a lot of misogyny in it?
That's that's the number one gripe. Like, it goes over.
There's also reference to Lexapro, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty great.
Which one's like that depressant?
Antidepressant. Yeah, he's on the antidepressant.
Well, no.
What does he rhyme it with is really
right.
what I'm interested in.
Lexapro, your mom's a hoe. They're
It's not that different than
misogyny.
that. It's not that different than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, hoe is the word that's wrong with Lexapro. Fuck all these hoes.
Yeah.
When I was in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then when I'm off Lexapro. No, I'm actually being very serious. That's the exact
that
word.
is the exact.
When I was
So
in
you're
Mexico.
saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, I am the Kanye of this podcast right now.
So, all right, let's
Don't,
get back
please don't change the subject, Neal.
Let's get back to what we were saying. What do you do with someone, even if you're friends with the? It's like, what do you? Have you ever done an intervention?
Yeah, I have, and it is. They're largely
It
unsuccessful.
didn't work for me.
No, they're largely unsuccessful. I guess they're better than not doing something, because if there's on the off chance that you can help, I mean, yeah.
Well, I think intervention's whole purpose is to let the person know that you know that you know. So
yeah,
it's.
And if you happen to catch them on the day that they're willing to change, then you can help them right then.
Yeah, and you have to hope that they get 100 more days in a row like that.
Yeah. Their addiction's real baffler.
Yeah. But the Amy movie floored me this year. And you know what else? Yeah, what were you gonna say floored you?
Oh, Diary of a Teenage Girl was my favorite movie of this year, I think.
I thought it was really good. Mari did an awesome job.
Poorly named, I would say. It made you think it was a Nickelodeon.
Did I see it? Who's in it?
Well, nobody in particular. The Sarsgaard, one of the Sarsgaard guys. It's basically about
Yorma's wife Mari directed it.
It's so good.
It's
so
really
well
well made. Yeah,
so
it's
well
really,
directed.
really well made.
And she's
like
a
really confidently. Yeah,
beautiful. And that the lead actress was so incredible.
Did you see Room?
I saw Room.
Room fucked my face up the same way Amy did.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
No, it didn't do that for me.
Did you see it?
I gotta say, I've been procrastinating more than I ever have this year with the Oscar picks. I haven't seen Brooklyn nor.
I saw Brooklyn. That was that.
Nor the Danish Girl. I haven't seen Brooklyn or the Danish Girl.
Brooklyn's
or
just
Trump,
about almost having problems.
Brooklyn's about almost having problems?
Yeah, it's like, oh, we moved here. What do we do? Oh, no, everything's fine. I found love. Oh, in Ireland. Oh, okay, well, great.
All right, don't have to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like not really
No,
real.
Room was like, whew.
As opposed to Room, where they're having real problems.
Your Room is a huge problem.
Yeah. I read the book, and
Oh,
I
did you
think
really?
it ruined it for me, because I actually think the movie's better than the book. And in the book, it's like this very...
Wait, you're slacking. You normally have something for...
Oh, yeah,
you
some
guys
crickets.
are being so, like... well, okay.
Are you being nice on this
I'm
last
being nice
episode?
right now, because you're being, like, you're very emotionally, like... Having a moment here.
No, we've moved
Trying
off
not
of
to be
Kanye
funny.
and Amy, and now you can make fun of us again, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to miss this podcast. Amir, what was your favorite movie of the year? You don't know?
It's only it's only February. You're talking about. Like,
I meant last year, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, man. I've seen so many. I can't even...
Doug, what do you got?
you know what? I saw a 30. You watched those 30 for 30s?
Yeah.
I love them all.
Did you see the one Prince of Pennsylvania?
About Jerry Sandusky?
No, about the wrestlers.
Oh, that was really good. It was based.
I was like in tears at the end.
Foxcatcher was based on that.
Yeah,
It was
it's based on. This is like the real Foxcatcher story.
Yeah.
That
Were you
like
into it?
so
It
well
fucked you up.
done.
I mean, yeah, he did kill him in front of his fucking wife and Brennan.
I mean,
and
it's
shit.
just an awful story, like
Yeah.
all the way around. Like,
yeah, crazy guy. It's again.
it's a
how do
crazy
you
guy
intervene
with
on-
no one to help him.
Yeah, how do you
Yeah.
intervene on someone that's losing their mind?
Well, that...
And he's so
It's someone
rich
that's
and
wealthy
powerful
and that you're-
he has no one
That's one of the more frustrating things about gun control arguments when people say, well, what we need is mental health. Is like, I got crazy people in my family who could shoot something up.
Yeah,
but you
also
can't
try getting a gun from them.
You can't go and be like, hey, don't shoot something up. It's like the only thing you can do is make sure that guy can't shoot something up.
Yeah. Amir, as a wealthy, successful person, is there any... Yeah, I know you're pleading poor.
With 16 jobs.
16 jobs. No kids.
If you had 16 bad jobs, you wouldn't be poor.
But literally, how many? Like, I'm the plumber of the 1% world. Like,
yeah, I'm with you.
Jay-Z's not getting up at 4 a.m. trying to beat a deadline or write a syllabus for his college class or something like.
Because he's not a workaholic like you are.
I'm doing work.
Jay-Z's not trying to avoid something emotionally the way you are.
I think he is.
He must be. He's got to be.
How is Jay? What do we hear from Jay?
I haven't talked to him. He changed his number.
How long ago?
Right after you did the champs last time.
Right
We talked about that
Jay Electronica.
Jay Electronica.
He got mad at that episode, and then didn't. No, someone. He reacted off of like fourth-hand information.
Yeah.
Oh man, why couldn't he have listened?
No, but do you have any? Is there any? Do you have a gauge? Have you had to recalibrate, or is your bullshit? Or do you think people are pretty straight with you?
No one's straight with me.
No one is straight with you?
No.
So
it's impossible. You mean just in life?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is a transitional period I'm going through right now.
From what to what?
Yeah. More jobs?
From 16 to 17.
It's like, what is the end game? What is, what's the end? What is it all for? Last night, okay. I guess the only party worth going to was the Weekend Spot.
Uh-huh.
And I guess his manager befriended someone that did something innovative with MRI machines, and they're like mega gazillionaires. So there's this house at the top of, it's like the highest point in Hollywood.
Is that the Minesweeper guy?
I don't know who it was, but I know that it took like 10 minutes just to get to the crib, going up all these hills to get there. And it was just overwhelming. I just looked like, is this
it's like we've locked ourselves in a room.
Is this the end game? Is this the pinnacle? Is this why I'm this why I'm working 16 hours a day, hopefully one day to get
to this party?
Then you get there and then you'll be bored. You'll be
that's the thing.
It was not fun. I don't know if it's that I'm old or if it's just like I got there.
No, it's not. It's pressure. It's another work situation. It's not enjoyable.
Well, you got to the end of your.
There are times where I'll have meetings with like to direct a movie or something, and I'll just be like, these people are such cocksuckers. Why would I want to spend a year with them?
It's crazy, but your brain, you've got a separate part of your brain that's your ego that's saying you can't afford to not spend your year with them.
Okay, here's the question I want to ask you, and it's my first Chappelle reference of this.
Yep, sure.
Or our last Chappelle.
Last Chappelle reference.
Yeah.
Guys, listen up. You're never going to hear this again.
Okay, so did you not notice a transitional period of how people treated you after season 2?
Yeah. And
how did you deal with it?
You mean treating him with more refined air?
Yeah.
I tried to make fun of it.
Okay, well, there's 3 types of people. There are family, people that you're close to.
Right.
Anyone that you've known before the age of 21. And then your everyday people in your life that you know, and then strangers.
Yeah.
Of those 3 categories, which ones did you find the most comfort in?
Comfort. Well, as you were saying this, you almost end up being more impressed with people who are turned off by it. Like, there's people where people are just like, Brennan, what do I care? Like, guys I used to caddy with or whatever, guys I went to high school with, would be like,
but
fuck
again,
do I care?
Because of the whole psychological therapy shit I go through, I now know that that's just a defense. Like, 'cause
it's everything's a reaction.
Like, you
to
knew
it.
Rich. Rich was, like, I'd hang with a lot of non-yes men people, and, they're not impressed with you or whatever.
Right.
But, then I started noticing, like, wow, everyone close to me, people I know, are really going way out to neg me or that sort of thing.
Like with the drops that Doug does. They're inappropriate and they're just...
Talking about Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like that's them protecting themselves because they think, one day you're going to be out and you'll never remember me and that sort of thing. But
artist.
There's a great story of Ringo Starr getting tea, like right when the Beatles hit. He's getting tea at his aunt's house, who helped raise him, and somebody spills the tea on him, and she freaks out. She's like, "We can't have that! We can't have that!" And like grabs the tea and starts to freak out. And he realized like he had no one anymore, like that he was. I mean, that's Ringo. That's the Beatles, and no one here will ever.
There's also a really funny story where Ringo went to the Comedy Store in like '78. And was fucking hammered and started heckling. And he started heckling Letterman.
You suck!
And like before... So Letterman, back when Letterman was just a club comic, and he's like, who is this... And finally he's like, Dave, it's Ringo. And he goes, Ringo, you fucked your career up, now you're trying to fuck mine up?
Amazing.
Fucking murdered.
Have you heard the Brody Stevens story about the heckler at the Comedy Store? He was doing stand-up and somebody started heckling him with a kind of slurred voice. And he's like, fuck you sound like Jerry Jewell. And this person stands up and goes, I am Jerry Jewell.
Oh, Jerry from The Facts of Life?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which one's Jerry Jewell?
She's got like cerebral palsy.
She was like Joe's cousin.
Oh, okay.
Oh God! I want to start talking like her.
Okay, so what do you do to ward against no one being honest, other than me and Rich?
So it's coming out of the
it's not a lack of honesty. It's just that everyone and everything is different,
filtered through a weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to handle this. Those who I was close to, acting brand new.
Is it something new since the Tonight Show, or has it just always been since the roots?
Tonight Show is sort of like the sweep up. I mean, there's always, if you care about industry stuff, you know I'm always doing stuff. But the Tonight Show is so
Everyone
ubiquitous.
knows, yeah.
You're a household name now, as opposed to that is a huge difference, right? Between being like in a seminal hip hop band and being every household in America knows who you are. That's a big difference.
Yeah, but it's just I don't.
But that's what you worked for, though. You wanted everyone
but
to,
I'm asking
to treat
myself,
you differently.
Is this what I wanted?
And what else would you want if it wasn't
clearly
this?
you're not, something isn't satisfying.
This is Buddha. This is straight up the you know what I mean? This is
you
the
want to have
journey of
no
the Buddha.
desire, get rid of your desires.
It's
you wanted to get on. You're living a 16-year-old's dream. That's what happens. Is you pursue the 16-year-old's dream. And you and Tariq, and the idea that you would get
and now that I'm
signed,
45, it's like
and you go, even this is empty. Even this feels empty.
Yeah,
I got to the treasure chest. And I opened it, and it was empty. Even though
my
there was
therapist
gold
told me
I don't know if I'm
this morning.
disillusioned. I mean, I enjoy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I enjoy
know.
stuff, but I think my disillusionment is more based on how people are acting.
Right.
Now I'm dealing with the tough love / protect myself thing, or the the regular Hollywood bullshit. Like, I'm so happy for you, which it's whatever. It's weird. I know what normal is, and I'm not getting a lot of normal.
Yeah,
and that's kind of.
Yeah, but the thing with
not
but
cool.
But when you're 16, normal's not the shit. Normal's you got to take the bus and shit.
See, because normal becomes more attractive on the other. I feel like on the other side of life. I feel like when I was a kid, I was so terrified of ever being average or regular. and then you get, like you're saying, like what you need, in a weird way, what you want is like a wife and a family. Like,
well, it's the pursuit of fame, and then you get around famous people, and you're like, this is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like, this is a nightmare. Like, being around,
And let me not.
No,
let me
grateful,
not, because now I can see the Cry Me a River, Questlove, from
well, no, but it's
Manson.
not. It's like the thing where you realize that even Brad Pitt is looking at replies on Twitter, going, "God damn it, fuck you."
Yeah.
Like all the way up the ladder. It's like, fuck. It's just human beings all the way up.
What do you think is that you're missing? Because my therapist today was like, none of this shit's gonna make you happy. You know that, right? And I was like, yes, but what am I supposed to? I can't quit.
Right. Why? Yeah.
Like, I'm still competitive.
That's the way I feel.
I'm still competitive. Like, what do you want me to do?
Well, you know what I come down to? I have two things that I focus on when I get to these places of existential angst. Like, what's the point of all of this ego striving that I'm doing? Is like, first, sometimes I'll go to downtown LA, not on purpose, but when I go to downtown LA and I see someone who has made a choice or fallen into a set of circumstances where there isn't even existential angst involved. It's just like, holy shit, like everything is dire for this person. And I'm like, okay, that puts everything into perspective very quickly, And the other thing is just to focus on the fact that, like, I have so much free time to have fun, and that's luck. Like, you can jet set and travel and do your thing,
Yeah, any perspective is really helpful.
But all human
do you
beings
enjoy yourself, like, if you go on vacation?
I can.
You don't. I know you don't.
Like,
I know you don't.
I kind of don't sometimes.
Really?
I'm kind of like.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. But I
feel guilty.
And you feel guilty, Doug?
No, I don't feel guilty. I feel more like, I don't know. There's this like a feeling of like I want to go home.
Last week
like,
I did something
homesick,
I'd never done before in my life, and I felt so horrible about it.
You sucked your own dick?
That sounds great.
I mean, I don't think you got to feel
You say to my sister?
Wait, just like one, Doug.
What was the thing?
Dude, I slept till 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll make you feel like a real piece of shit.
I felt like a slacker and a half. Like
you probably went to bed at noon.
I'll be honest, I went to bed at 5.
Yeah.
But when I opened my eyes and saw that it was 5 o'clock, I just instantly felt
Yeah, but
like,
dude, you're really sleep deprived.
I was back. I'm not. Listen, since I've seen you last, I remember the whole cocksacky virus conversation.
Yeah.
No, I've realized the value of breathing and yoga and sleeping for 8 hours. I've realized that value. So yeah, that's one of the main misconceptions that I want people to know. They seem to think that just because a tweet comes in at 3:20 in the morning that I don't sleep, but no, I do get quality sleep in.
My point was mostly that people on every level of the human experience are having the same existential angst. And so you're feeling like this is not enough. There's somebody working at Best Buy who's feeling the same, this is not enough, who doesn't get to do cool shit.
What's the sliding doors version? Like, what would you have? Where was the sliding door that you were like, man, I should have fucking gone left? What do you feel like what would you feel like now that you've traced all this shiny shit, what feels like real fulfillment?
Sucking your own dick.
It's
comes back to it.
There you go. Hit me, Doug.
With your daddy.
Wait, what? One more time.
I'm asleep with your daddy.
That actually, in a weird way, based on the narrative of this podcast, would close the whole gap if you fucking Neal's dad somehow.
I don't know, man. It's just like, it's more of the same. Like, all the geniuses in my life are self-saboteurs. But now to the 10th level.
Yep.
You know, anyone in my early part of my life is just on a grumpy level. You know, I'm dating someone serious now. You know, that's the one bright spot there. I mean, I'm not trying to paint it like.
Are you approaching it differently than you approached the other ones?
I'm amazed at her because she's freaking normal. Like nothing impresses her.
Yeah.
But not that like, oh, I'm just going to act like, I don't give a fuck about, I don't care about your life. Like, not that I'm not impressed, but it's just like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, she's so cool. And that's probably the question I ask her the most. Like, okay, what's the catch? Like,
yeah.
Normally you're waiting for the other shoe to drop or,
And you must be like, none of your moves work? Because she doesn't care.
I
can't be like, I can be to go to the studio with, and she's like, oh.
No, I can be. She's the one of the few people I could just be myself and feel like, everything's
I think that's cool. I think that's really cool.
Cool, man.
So that might be fulfillment.
Is it, though?
A romantic thing.
I don't know if a relationship is fulfillment, though.
What if there isn't? I mean, I have to make peace with that, too. It's like, what if we are just apes and we're just pretending that there's fulfillment available to us?
Is it your relationship with yourself?
That has a lot to do with it. But, that's always a work in progress. But I'm more aware of it than anything. I'm aware that, my perception of myself is, always at the root of the matter.
And may not be sky high.
It's never sky high.
Yeah.
Have you considered
Who doesn't hate themselves?
No, I know. Trust me.
Have you considered fundamentalist Islam?
It's considered it.
I mean, you never know. That is the thing. This is literally the point where people jump into extreme religiosity, actually. Because
yes,
that's what happens.
That's the one thing. Like, the one thing that I haven't done is the cliche thing.
Right.
By 45, someone has religion. Prince has religion. Someone has drugs or alcohol. What, DMX? We can start just naming stuff. Some just couldn't make it and find a way to die already.
Right.
Some people go crazy. Or, whatever.
Uh-huh. We're doing charades.
Yeah.
You fill in the gap on your own,
Meanwhile,
listener.
your Periscope is still...
No, but I don't know what you just said, so I was like...
Yeah, but I'm just saying that that's the one thing that...
You still got that to look forward to.
Well,
that's your ace in the hole,
religion
man.
is so beautiful and intoxicating in that very way. It's like the very moment that you say, I don't know how to live. I
don't want to be that cliche.
No, I don't think you should. I'm just saying it's...
Because there's about 4 people, like, right now in my life, like, you're searching for God, Amir. This is what...
Yep.
But, it's... Like, I have spirituality. But I feel like religion is just a crutch. I feel for... When you feel empty inside, you have to feel it with something.
And religion has a total fulfillment. It has every answer you've ever, for every question you've ever had. I'm not saying it's a compelling answer. No, I'm not saying it's a compelling answer. I'm just saying
it's an incredibly simplistic answer. It's magic. It's because it's because magic.
It's not though, because when you get into more sophisticated levels of religion, it's like, well, what does it mean that I feel this way? They say, well, here's the exact answer to that question.
Well,
I'm not saying that it's compelling or logical. Yes, exactly right. Like you feel.
But does it keep you sane? Especially in the light of, today's Christian, in my opinion, like there's nothing Christ-like.
But that's
by
not
the American at all.
That's not even the point anymore, I sort of feel like. Because I think the point more is filling in the existential gaps that life gives you.
What you should think about doing is an ayahuasca session.
Joe Rogan in the place.
You were saying that one.
Actually, that's a good point. Maybe you should do ayahuasca.
Is that sort of like the landmark for him? Or
no, it's a drug.
It's a drug.
Oh, okay.
It's like a mind-expanding, like Peruvian...
It's a one-time trip, crazy, perceive everything differently.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the tea thing?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I met a girl once that wanted me to go out to the desert with her and try this.
Yeah, that's the one.
Have you done it?
No. I thought about it.
You would be a perfect candidate for it.
Yeah, I thought about it.
I've thought about it, too. I'm a sober guy, and I've thought about it. I've thought about just doing it.
I'm thinking like I would have to ramp myself up to that level. Like,
Have you ever done shrooms?
Nah. I mean,
it's like
occasionally
shrooms, but I think that it's like shrooms times 40.
Can we agree that in 10 years we all meet in Peru, and if we're all still single,
it's an affair to remember.
But okay, so the you have the same sort of question about fulfillment as everybody, but it seems like you're. It seems like from the outside, it looks like things are going. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask is
people don't fuck with you.
Black people don't fuck with shrooms. Someone just wrote the Wu-Tang did, which is why I always love them.
Every 90s rapper.
Far Side. Yeah.
Well, if black people don't fuck with shrooms brings us back to the very beginning of our conversation about the black vulnerability. I mean, shrooms and all hosts in the Gen X make you fucking real vulnerable.
Yeah.
This America ain't the place for black vulnerability.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe that's the secret. Is black mush?
Let me ask you this, Amir. What's the difference between, because you still have 3 mics and I talk about my dad. What's the difference between you and your dad? Because your dad was Amir's dad was a popular doo-wop soul guy.
I mean, I'll say that we weren't too exemplary as far as the. Great. I'm about to give a Cliff Huxtable example.
Whatever.
He did Cliff Huxtable.
Your dad only had one job, and you had 13.
No, just, man, at this rate, is it too soon to start making Cosby references?
Cliff Huxtable is evergreen, and Bill Cosby is not. That's the decision we've all come to as a community.
There you go. I feel, my father and our relationship has been very, very rocky.
From the jump?
In the early period, it was like kind of Joe Jackson-ish.
Like he made you practice a lot, right? Or it was sort of...
He made me practice a lot. There was a lot of pressure. Again, I went to a high school where... something normal like Miles Davis pulling you out of class to tour 3 weeks in Europe was like the everyday norm.
Yeah.
For a lot of my classmates.
Yeah.
Like in the scheme of things, like if you just look at my high school existence, I was a slacker. The Roots were bells of the ball. Like I think I told you guys, like I didn't tell my dad about the Roots until our second album, Do You Want More?
Yeah.
He didn't know?
He didn't know about Organics. I hid it from him. Because his version of success was what all my high school cats were doing. Like, I'm playing with Anita Baker this week. I need, all my English homework for 3 weeks or whatever. Like,
so, like session stuff.
Yeah.
Basically.
He saw that as a real job. Whereas, I'm trying to figure out how to... First of all, this is like my first public school I ever went to. So, in his mind, I'm busting my ass to put you in private school. Our future in this house living here is up in the air because I'm putting you in private school. And now you want to throw that all away to run with that hoodlum from South Philly and grab your nuts and say, suck my dick, bitch, filth, farm.
Lexapro, you ho.
In Mexico. So that was like the first half of our relationship. And then once the Roots kicked in, then it really got ugly. I'll say that he and I really just got to our good place when I thought he was on his deathbed a year and a half ago. In which he was very sincere because he admitted, like, I knew I was always hard on you. Always criticized you. I'm sure you went through this with your folks or whatever. But you've always seen that movie in which, the father's is always hard and nothing's not good enough.
Because he needs discipline. The boy needs discipline.
Yeah, sort of that thing. So, when he wanted to let out that, look, I know I was an asshole to you a lot and I apologize. I was just really afraid of... your safety and where your life was going to be. Because again, all my cousins and my childhood friends are either dead or in jail.
But not from hip hop. It did, yeah. He didn't.
Yeah,
he
but just
didn't
he's just a surface looker at hip hop. So all he sees is
is drugs.
You know what
this
he
way.
needs is a screening of Hamilton. He needs to check out this show, Hamilton. Then he'd finally
If only
get
he
it.
could afford it.
Yeah. Even your dad can't afford it. But he goes, I finally get it, son.
He's gonna pretend. He's gonna pretend he's in high school.
Yeah, but he it's a turnaround period, and I believe him when he says he's proud. And he just said, like, look, I need to let you know, like, it's every parent's dream to, I guess the term he used was like graffiti, like to leave something on the world that I can die knowing that my son did something historical or something that is going to be in the books forever.
Yeah.
So he feels like, job well done. But I mean, it's the rosy ending, but it's, it's like a math problem. Like, that X equals 4, but what was the equation that got you there? That's the sacrifice. That's sort of the messed up, not the messed up part, but that's I guess the journey there. Like,
was it cold? Were you just like, I can't fuck with you? Or was it like contentious?
He would probably see me, and I'm sure that a lot of my family will now see me as cold. I mean, I was just always the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never really fit in. And I don't mean like my nuclear family, but just, I mean, my overall general family.
Right.
Like,
cousins
never liked me. I talk like a white boy and whatever. And, you think you're better than us. And, like, it was just that sort of thing. So to go from that, like the family black sheep, to suddenly like, we love the shit out of you. And, that sort of, we were always proud of you. Like,
so everybody's fake on every level.
That automatically makes me defensive. Like, well,
right.
Now you guys are nice to me. I can play reindeer games.
Does your
You didn't want me then, so Johan don't want me now. To your family.
Where do I know that line from?
Here's a towel. Wipe off your brow and take the contact out your eye.
Far from looking fly. Oh, Fife.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is about having sex with people, so it's not a perfect analogy for your family.
But your mom's good, right?
My mom's good. Oh God, I'm not.
No, I like your
you
mom.
said this last episode.
What did I say?
For family business. No, I'm just like I have a very rocky relationship with everyone in my life right now. So
except for this girl you're dating, and maybe that's the answer. Maybe the answer is love.
Let's
see.
I
don't. And the other thing is, that I don't know. I wouldn't know what to tell you advice wise. In terms of how to, this is how you get people to. I don't know.
But there is something.
Not
to
like
it.
I even think people are fake. I just don't know how to. I don't know how to deal with people.
Yeah, well, your family sort of births you into this world, and they show you love, and it's flawed and fucked up, and then you go into the world, and you have to like create your own version of love and your own version of the world, and you hope that you can pick something good. That's why people make families, so they can create a little thing of their own.
Do it.
Which is deeper and more profound than the weekend's Grammy party.
My answer currently is to be isolated, which I know is wrong. But you're supposed to, that's how gangs are formed. Like, oh, well, I don't have a family, so let me find a family. I've been sort of solitary for the last 5 years and trying to figure all this out, But I'm coming out of my shell now.
In what way? And then we got to wrap it up.
Wait, this is the 144-minute episode.
Yeah. This is a mega
the final
episode.
extravaganza.
2 hours of it was waiting for you.
Well, there is something beautiful though about a guy in isolation in a humongous hip hop and brass band on the Tonight Show.
Man, there's nothing beautiful about isolation. I thought it was, but nah, man. You hear this sound? Exactly. That sound.
Wait, Doug,
sound?
do you have a sound?
Yes, thank you.
That's the sound you want.
No, that's the sound I've
he
been
has.
living with for like forever, and it's not healthy. That's why people talk to themselves.
Right.
I found out that you tend to, now I know why people talk to themselves a lot, because it's just that there's nothing healthy about solitary confinement.
Well, there's something
drives
to
people
that.
insane.
No, there's something to that though. It's like you're experiencing silence while creating music. Same thing is true for us while creating this podcast. Like there's a reason that creative people feel this expulsive need to inject their content into the world, and whether it's ego or whether it's an offering. That's who we are.
So wait, since we're wrapping up, you guys have since you guys have already went through the part of why you're breaking up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So
We
tell
ran out
me-
of black people.
Well, Neal doesn't feel like it's the.
You have to come back for one episode.
That the returns
You
aren't.
can be very overbearing.
that the returns aren't worth the investment of time.
No. We literally
Black people ran out of style.
No, we literally just ran out of people to interview. Like I asked every single person I knew, and then every single person I met, and you just feel like a mooch after a while. I love doing the show. I love pretty much every single episode. You just get tired of going like, "Hey man, you come and do my podcast?" It just feels like, "Hey girl, come fuck me." When you've done none of the, you know what I mean? It just feels like, ugh.
Well, maybe someday in the future, a guest will pop
I
up.
still
We can
want
do
the
a one-off.
Chappelle episode, man.
Well, we thought it's funnier that he never did it.
Right. It's a more perfect story.
It's more he stays the
cracking up
enigma.
laughing.
He stays the enigma.
Wow.
Well, I was going to ask Will Smith to do it, but it never got that far.
Black don't crack.
Well, thank you, Amir, for being a supporter.
Huge supporter.
Thank you, Doug.
A real fan. A fan, even if you didn't know us, he would have been a fan, I think.
This is sad, man.
I'm sad too.
Wait, I don't think we should have a goodbye. Just like make it like it's
maybe
make it
we'll
like
do
a Spike Lee movie. Like,
maybe we'll do a Christmas episode.
Yeah, we'll do we'll be the British. Yeah, it'll be like British TV. Well, we'll do a Christmas
6 episodes.
Yeah, a lot of I love yous. We all said to some.
Well, listen, you've been fucking with the champs once again. That was Questlove, DJ
Amir
Dougpound.
Thompson.
Yo.
What episode number is this?
10 something, I think.
Neal Brennan.
Yes.
And Moshe Kasher signing off.
Yeah.
For now.
Fucking with the
Yeah. Oh wait, check this out.
Fucking with the chimps.
Thank you.
Doug, do you have that song? Do that song that you played earlier.
I'll do the theme song again one last
Doug's
time.
drop. Is that okay to say? Doug's drop.
That's some bullshit.
I jacked
Doug's drop. Is that okay to say? Fuck, man. Is that okay to say?
I went to the premiere with Chappelle. I went to the premiere with Chappelle. I went to the premiere with Chappelle. I went.
Get up off Twitter.
Doug's drop. Fuck, man.
Dropping my name.
Doug's drop. Is that okay to say? Doug's drop.
Get up off Twitter.
Doug's drop.
At the premiere, no less.
Now you're fucking with the champs.
Is that okay to say?